Pick your target. Want to stabilize the gold six. Anybody cover me. I got explosives on my tail. You've got to hold them here. Watch your left. I can't shake them. Okay. Wait for reinforcements.
Love it. The tunes are strong with you.
Thank you, YouTube audio library.
We are back. Bloody hell. It's been a lengthy 5 months, lads. I have missed you. How are we doing? Are we all right?
Limping through one day at a time.
We're getting there, aren't we? We're getting there. We're surviving. We're still standing.
Surviving, thriving, living it, loving it.
Always, always. So yeah, welcome back to anyone who might be watching live. To anybody who's catching this on replay, as always, welcome. I hope you're all ready to chat some Star Wars because we've got a lot to get through tonight. Obviously, for the past couple of weeks, we've been enjoying the Imperial March campaign by Lucasfilm that's been revealing products from Hasbro, Lego, all different licensees. Obviously, being the type of collectors we are, we're going to be focusing on the Hasbro stuff today. But there was also a little trailer that got dropped a couple of weeks ago as well, which I think we should touch base on throughout this stream, which we'll do, of course, later on. But let's just jump into the chat and see who's dropped by. We've got the forces with Jesse. Hello.
Hello there.
I've been waiting for a stream like you to come into my life. I'm guessing that's a song, but I've just butchered it. It's fine. And Twin Sons Collecting is with us as well. Matthew from Twin Sons Collecting is here as well. Keen to hear your thoughts on the Acolyte trailer, making me feel all kinds of prequel nostalgia. You know what, Matthew? Me too. And your friend Becca's Builds is here as well. Hello, Becca. Let's just dive into it. Acolyte trailer. Let's get our thoughts on that out of the way first, and then because we've got some recent pickups we want to touch on, and then there's obviously all the product reveals. So let's just dive into the nitty gritty. Let's get your thoughts on the Acolyte trailer, and we'll go around. James, what did you think?
It was all right. I probably should have watched the trailer today before we did this, so that I could remember half of what happens in it. But no,
the general
I'm easily pleased, mate. Any Star Wars that we get tomorrow is Star Wars we didn't have yesterday. So, I'm all for it. Happy to see some High Republic era looking stuff on my screen for a change because I can't be arsed to read books. Looks good. Lightsabers, yellow ones. I'm happy.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Jedi. Give me all the Jedi. Yes.
Yeah, I'm here for that as well. I think I don't know, all the way through the trailer, I was like, okay, I'm waiting for something to really grab me. It looked good, but I was waiting for something because I'm not really overly familiar with the High Republic stuff. I've not read any of the books yet. I've not checked out any of the characters, so I'm going into this one a little bit blind. But then when at the end you see all the lightsabers ignite, and I was like, okay, here we go. This is gonna be good. So I'm going into it with an open mind. I'm a little bit less hyped for it than I would be maybe other stuff because I'm, like I said, I've not got that level of familiarity with it. But in terms of what it's hopefully gonna open the door to and offer up, I'm here for it. I'm keen, and like Matthew said as well, prequel nostalgia. I'm loving the fact that we're getting something set many years before the Phantom Menace. It's untapped territory, so I'm here for it. I'm really excited. So yeah,
I want to see some live action translations from the Young Jedi Adventures so that my time wasn't wasted.
Nubs, give us nubs.
Give us nubs.
No, to be fair, I'll defend that show till my dying breath because there's a shitload of lore in it and a lot of boot crossovers as well. So I refuse to believe that they didn't put X amount of work into that to just not acknowledge it in anything else ever. So
yeah.
Give me what I want, Lucas.
Now I want to watch the Young Jedi Adventures because of that.
Yeah, I've still not watched it yet. I'm still not tuned in. Like, I thought one of the better ways for me, because I'm not a massive novel guy. I don't really tend to sit and read novels. Like, I've tried to dabble in audiobooks, and I just don't think I've got the attention span for it. So there's so much lore and so much canon that I'm just so completely out of the loop. Like, you know, hashtag fake fan. I'm just so completely out of it. There's so much stuff that I'm not really that familiar with. So my gateway to it was I was going to grab the Art of the High Republic book from Amazon. I love
the pictures.
Mate, I'd be the same completely.
You know what? I wanted to get it because thanks to Dan's obsession with the sexy blue boy that is Grand Admiral Thrawn, I tried my best to try and get into the novels. But again, I just can't commit. I can't commit that level of time and concentration to a book. And then I was like, oh, I'll listen to the audiobook then, because I've been on a few trips recently, and I thought, you know what, best opportunity to listen to an audiobook is when you're on a lengthy bloody coach trip. So I banged that on, and I was like, nah, not. I don't know. There's just something about it I just can't get going. So I picked up Throne Alliances in comic book form, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna dabble because it's something I need to do, and you know, I'm neglecting the fan in me that that should be up to date with all this stuff, and it just isn't. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of stuff in this Acolyte series that it's going to be mentioned. Like, there's going to be nods from the books and all that sort of stuff that I'm just going to be sat there going like, I don't really know what that is. So I could do with some revision, as it were.
I think the sheer amount of content from High Republic, because they really went hard.
Yeah,
the amount of the whole phase thing.
Exactly.
Was nuts.
So it's like, where do you even start with it?
So that's where I'm at.
I will do my best to send you some links later. There are a helpful bunch of people over on Twitter that have been doing like an idiot's guide to the High Republic, if you will.
Love that.
So all the list of the characters that will get mentioned or shown or will show up at some point, and then just the gist of the general setting, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I'm with you, Steve. I can't read books for toffee. I bought Heir to the Empire, all because of a certain figure set that's coming out. I thought,
was just about we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Oof, we'll get to that. All right.
This is another thing. Like, I feel like again such a fake fan because I'm so excited for that set, but I've not read the books.
Mate, I got three-quarters of the way through it, and it was mint. It's so good so far, but I keep falling asleep.
I think we've touched on these streams before where like the best kind of Star Wars is weird Star Wars. And for that, for me, that set just encapsulates weird Star Wars. Yep. So I'm here for that. But like I said, we're digressing. We'll get to that. We'll get to the good stuff later. But yeah, general consensus on the Acolyte trailer. We all hyped. We all excited.
So hyped.
Hyped. Good stuff. It premieres on my birthday as well, so I'm like, yes, that's just lovely. Cherry on the top. A nice little treat for me. But yeah, really excited for it. So yeah, it's been a while since we've caught up. It hasn't been 5 months since we've last done one of these streams. So thanks for everybody who's tuning in so far. Since it's been a while since we've caught up, what have you guys been spending your money on? Because I've done a bit of a spend. I'll go first.
Go on, Steve.
I've only got a couple. I think you guys have got a little bit more than me. So first thing I picked up, I'm still a 3 3/4 inch collector. Like Dan, I'm still picking them up. Finally picked up bloody Paz Vizsla. If anybody saw my post about this one on Instagram, then like how I feel about the deluxe vintage figures, like where the justification comes from on Hasbro's part to charge like upwards of 30 quid for these things is just absolutely beyond me. But I've got to say, this is a really, really nice figure. I'm really, really happy with it. It's really, really good. But I picked this one up off Zave. It was $16.99, I think, so about half price. And I'm more than happy with that. I think it's really good. One of the key things about it for me is deep peg holes. Going back to what we've touched on in previous streams, the fact that this guy fits on a stand perfectly is just, I love it So more of that, please, Hasbro. But yeah, pick that up. Tapped into Vinted quite a little bit recently, and I'm going on a bit of a spree. And something I've been wanting to pick up for ages since it got reduced to very, very cheap, a very, very cheap price in game, was the Infinity's Darth Vader from the Black Series. So I managed to get that as well off Vinted for just over a tenner, which I'm more than happy with. Again, if anybody saw my post on Instagram about this one, my 3 3/4 inch Infinity's Vader got yellowed to high fuck. And so for ages I've been like, yeah, I need to get the Black Series one to fill that void. So I'm really, really happy with that. And
he's now the High Republic Darth Vader.
Yeah, there you go. But the piece de la resistance.
Oh, don't. Oh.
I was going to wear it until James pointed out that it was very hard to put it on over the top of our headsets. So I'll just do that. I bloody got one, lads. I bloody got one. And it's the most amazing thing I've ever spent money on. It's absolutely bleeding glorious. I can't stress enough how much I love it.
I'm glad you decided to show the box, because that tells me we're on the same thought train, as it's an absolute pain to get level on a stand. So I didn't want to move it.
Do you know what I've been trying to do? I've been trying to track down some polystyrene balls, because I've got mine all on them kitchen roll holder stand things.
Yeah.
And like you said, trying to get them level is an absolute mare. So I've been trying to get some like 10 centimeter-ish diameter polystyrene balls just to stick on the top to even it out a little bit. But can I find any? It's been a right pain. I think I've tried every single bloody hobby shop that's near me and nothing. So I'm going to keep an eye out, but I think that's the plan for going forward, because it just keeps tipping. It just keeps tipping.
Yeah.
Doing my absolute boxing. But I'm just looking at it now and oh my God.
It's lovely. It's so good.
It is, isn't it? I just keep thinking back to how we were gushing over it in that stream we did when it got revealed. Yeah. And to have it in person now, it's like, it's so good.
Very rare do collectibles like that come full circle as well. You know, the hype dies down, or it doesn't quite live up to what we first thought it would, and it's lovely.
It's better. It's better than I expected it to be.
Stop it! I'm jealous. I'm jealous.
Dan, you need one. You do need one. It's very, very good.
That really you sold me on it.
It's sick, and I didn't realize it's got a voice changer in it as well, which apparently isn't very good. But you know, it's for display. I haven't even put batteries in it yet because it's just like beautiful. So, other than the Rex helmet, James, what have you picked up recently? Have you been spending?
Well, mate, I'm reckless as fuck. Everybody knows this by now. But
Mr. Hot Toys here, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Hot Toys are on a shelf because, you know, put them in a nice pose, and I don't want to touch them after that. So,
can appreciate that.
Go to my Instagram, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see all these lovely Hot Toys that you won't see here. First Black Series of the year, though.
Oh, nice.
These lovely figures. That's a bit more accurate, isn't it?
What's the verdict?
Beautiful. Love them.
Good.
Brilliant.
Nice.
Just the faces, man. I mean, my camera's a load of crap, but
that's decent.
Hang on, let's
let me do that old YouTuber professional hand
that
thingy.
brings back some memories.
Oh,
that looks good. That looks better than the promo pictures, I think. Yeah.
Oh, I have a mighty need.
Yeah, they look good. I don't know. Like, I really want the Anakin, but I just wish it came with more stuff.
They could have thrown helmets with it.
I know what you mean. Everybody's favourite 3D printer land speeder Luke, though, has got a helmet, I think, or something. So have a look at his page. More Black Series, because, you know, I'm mentally ill and I know no bounds.
Oh, spicy.
You and Yeah. This is the main boy for me.
Yeah.
Clone Wars Mace Windu. this one, everybody's loving it. I'm a bit.
Wow, I'm
Because
shocked.
they used the 2.0 clone body instead of that nice new one that's just come out. You can take the helmet off, but the
Oh, really?
the body itself and the wrist joints are the old ones. Yeah, but
I mean,
I like that one.
Talking about that, it's well, actually, Matthew's just brought it up in the chat, and this is something again that we're going to touch base on throughout the stream. There seems to be a heavy focus on the 187th Legion this year, and I'm kind of curious why, and I'm hoping it's not for the reasons that I think it is. And again, we'll get to that later, but I'm just like, oh no, is that a giveaway for something? And I think, you know,
I mustn't have thought this deeply into it.
I was just about to say we'll touch on it in a bit, because other than the Hasbro product reveals, we got some product revelations for Star Wars Day this year as well from the guys over at Fantha Tracks and Jedi News. So we'll touch on that a little bit later on. But yeah, seems to be a focus on that for some reason, and I'm a bit worried about why. But what else you got? Show me what you got.
Bit left field with this one.
Oh, baby.
Oh.
Big thanks to my mate Roger for sorting me out with this one.
Absolutely bloody criminal that's the only Ponkrell piece of merch.
Yeah,
other than that Lego minifigure from a few
That's the one, mate. That's the one, and that's the only reason I bloody bought it, because I still haven't got a Ponkrell in 3 3/4 inch or 6 inch, and it's a crime.
It really is.
But, you know, tell Hasbro what you want and you get a Boba Fett, so.
And we're getting another one, according
we
to
are,
the rumor
apparently,
report.
yeah.
Jesus Christ. Oh, well.
Which one do you want it to be, quickly?
Out of the 3 that were pictured on that yak face graphic.
Yeah.
Tusken Warrior.
I don't know.
I don't want another Boba Fett.
I want the Book of Boba Fett version, just because I was so infuriated that they tried to pass off that Mandalorian one as the one from the show when it clearly wasn't.
Oh, you mean like with the modified?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
That's just me being me, though. I mean, you know, the logical choice would be to get a new figure, but
yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd like to see the Empire Strikes Back Boba get an update, because that original one from 2014 is still a pile of
cat now.
Yeah, it's rubbish compared to what we've actually got.
Yep.
But it's just going to be a repaint of the Return of the Jedi one, and I think, you know, it's going to be one of them. When I see it, I'll be like, yeah, I need it because I've got a Fett focus, so it's going to be a no-brainer. But I just want new figures before we get repaints, says the guy who's just bought a white Darth Vader. But that's neither here nor there. Dan, enlighten us, mate. What you been buying?
I've done a bit of a sidetrack from figures. Hugely. What have I become? What have I become?
He's collecting Pokemon cards, ladies and gentlemen.
Become Pokemon cards. Come show Dude, these for fails now Pokemon streaming. Nah. It's Star Wars Unlimited, everyone. It's the hot new card game that everyone wants. And when you say General Krell's the only way you can get him, it's not just that. They even made a card of him.
Lord.
Oh, yeah.
Look, he's even got him in a binder.
I know. Look at me, because I'm trying to get a full set of them. I need to touch grass.
Gotta catch them all.
Yeah.
Genuinely. But the artwork is mwah, mwah.
Are you collecting to play, or are you just collecting to collect?
A bit of a mixture, really. I'm not really sure what I'm doing, mate. That's just the summary of my life at the minute. But yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing I'm doing. I want to get all the cards because they're pretty cool. At least the basic one. Then I might do a Thrawn deck because you know. But yeah, I have to wade through them and find out what's good. So yeah, that's one thing I've done is buy cards. I've bought Lego. Bought some more Lego.
Bought even more Lego.
Bought even more Lego. I've done reviews on it. And then also, actually, I did get a figgy. I should have probably brought him a bit closer, but oh no, Spraxia, focus. Come on, there we go. Got Sideshow Grand Admiral Thrawn, which you can probably see on my Instagram. And
He's there. He's hiding.
He's just there. He's just there. The heir to the Empire. I've got a whole Thrawn shelf finally, and I'm chuffed. Not necessarily with the price, but it was better than what.
Mate, I think that it's
better than what you could have done.
It was still spenny, but you got to say it's, you know, I know how long
Grail.
you've been wanting. Yeah, I was just about to say, I know you've been after one of them for years, so I think you paid a pretty fair price for it, considering how long you've wanted one, and considering what they do go for, mate. You know,
Steal.
Kudos,
Steal.
yeah, kudos. So, but yeah, that's pretty. I think that's all our pickups. There's been a few more that I've added over the past 5 months that it's been since we last did one of these. But then we'd need an entire stream just to talk about all the stuff I've bought in the last 5 months. But that's again neither here nor there. So yeah, let's dive in to the meat and vegetables of what we're here for, which is of course the Imperial March campaign. Now, again, like I said, they've released a ton of product on us, and there's not enough time to go into it all. So we're going to focus on the Hasbro stuff. We've got Black Series and we've got Vintage Collection to go through, and so we'll dive in. Let's have a look where we are. So I thought we'd do this in order of, what's the word? Not descending order. Let's call it condescending order. So from meh to ooh. Let's say it. Let's put it that way. From meh to ooh. So I think for me, and again, might be speaking on behalf of myself in this instance, but for me, the most meh is that this is the Jedi. Is it Jedi Fallen Order 3-pack? It's not Survivor, is it?
Fallen Order.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the Jedi Fallen Order 3-pack which has been rumored for quite a while now, I think, hasn't it? The Cal Kestis in Inquisitor uniform, the Purge Trooper, and a redo of the Second Sister. Did I get that right? Yeah,
You did. Yeah.
Thank God for that. Thoughts, gents? Because this, I'll be honest, as a primarily Black Series collector these days, this really doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
I'm buying it, but I'm not happy about it.
Is it for the same reason that Sea Lion's disappointed by it?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I think that's one of the issues, isn't it?
That's the biggest
Yeah.
kicker.
Come on, I mean, I don't know. You know,
So it's a general meh then.
yeah. I mean, the only figure I'm remotely happy about is that Purge Trooper.
Mm.
Because even the Cal uses parts from the Grand Inquisitor, so it's not even right.
Mm.
And that version of him shows up for like one tiny little scene in the game.
Yeah, because it's from a vision, isn't it? I mean, again, fake fan over here. I've not played Jedi Fallen Order, so
Yeah, it's just some sort of, force premonition. You can play as it, use the skin for play, but why would you want to do that?
yeah.
I just don't like the Second Sister. If it's the same figure as the one that they released before,
I was just about to say it's a bit crap in it.
that's a janky ass figure. I know they've done soft goods on it, which is great, but
Yeah.
It's not. Hasbro can't do soft goods, Dan. Come on.
No, I think for me it's like the fact, 'cause I did get the original Second Sister when it came out a few years back, and like you said, Dan, it's janky. It's, I don't know. There's just something about it. It's just poo.
It falls over all the time.
It falls over. The cape's absolute naff. The lightsaber's wobbly as balls and all.
Same with mine. Yeah.
Oh, all right. So I'm not alone there then.
No, I remember picking it up and putting like a call to action out about it, because I was like, is it just me, or is is this blade that giving itself a wobble, and it winds me up, and it's like it's a figure that on secondary market goes for an absolute premium, but it's shit.
It's an absolute gash.
Yeah.
God,
So
I
it's
just think
right.
that lightsaber's going to be after they've done a second run of the bloody mold now.
I just don't care for this set. Like, and the Purge Trooper again, it's just going to be a repaint of the ancient Clone Trooper sculpt that we got back in 2013. It does nothing for me.
Oh, bloody hell, yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah,
The only-
it's
I think the only positive about this was the fact that Amazon listed it pretty quickly, at least in terms of the UK. Usually it takes them ages and you have to search for weird codes to find it. Well, this went up pretty fast, but that's the only positive I can say. I'm not dropping. Is it like 70 quid?
71.99.
oh, get in the bin.
Oh,
Get in the bin.
yep.
The money that I would have spent on this set then will be going towards another set which is much better.
Oh,
And I know that one, I know that even that set's got its critics, and we'll get to that. But
We'll deal with them later.
yeah, it's just naff. I mean, like Sea Lion Studios has pointed out, do you want Jaro Tupal? No. Do you want Aino Cordova? No. Sia Junda? No. Let's give you another Purge Trooper. Yeah, cheers, Hasbro. Nice one.
Never mind those three characters. Where's Merrin and Grease?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
The actual main characters of the game. Oh,
dear. It's a no from me.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. Speaking of packs that make no sense, ba-boom.
Yay! I'm buying this. I don't want to, but it's got one blue boy that fits in my collection.
I was just about to say, pray tell, Dan, what is it about this set that appeals to you so much?
Just one thing, and one thing only. If they put the Emperor in this pack, chuck Grievous out, because what's he doing there?
Yeah.
What's he doing there? Get him out, put Palpatine in. Awesome. That's like a Thrawn treason and thingy, alliances, like free pack. That's cool. But it makes
Even
no
Clone Wars
sense.
Anakin.
Clone Wars Anakin.
Yeah.
It makes no sense, particularly when Thrawn's got the bloody Yislamari. Salamari?
Salamari, I think.
Salamari?
I think the Y is silent.
Salamari. So I have to repeat it. I've been trying to learn all the names of the things today. It's still not sitting in my head.
Oh, wait till we...
No, it was just he's got that fit. Why? Because that's Lars Mikkelsen. It's just so annoying. Just needs to get in the sea.
Yeah, it screams to me. Do you know what this really reminds me of? It reminds me of those packs that they used to do years ago. Do you remember, like, in 2010, 2011, when we used to get, like, what was it? The Evolution of Darth Vader set, and it was like an episode 1 repack of Anakin and the shittest Darth Vader figure that they've ever done in a box set. And it was like, you could tell it was just a way for Hasbro to get rid of all these additional figures that they'd got, like, gathering dust in the warehouse or whatever. So, let's put it in new packaging, palm it off as something else. This is what that screams to me. But I'm like, why are they doing this as such a cheap, nasty sort of pack where the Thrawn figure, 1, isn't even out yet, and 2, is probably going to sell like hotcakes when it is. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. And like we were talking about, it
stinks of Patrick's final thought on the line.
Well, here's a great idea. Before I leave, we're going to release this free pack that makes even the complete no sense at all.
No,
Buddy!
I wish it were fucking nothing.
It's weird, isn't it? It's weird. I mean, what the thing that jumped out about this pack to me, and we discussed this before we went live, when I was putting these slides together for showing on screen during the stream, I put the box on and I was like, hang on a minute, zoom in. That's Gregory Titus's artwork. What's he doing back, the little scam? He kept that quiet. I'm buzzing to see that artwork back. I mean, I'm guessing the Vader and the Grievous artwork is stuff that he did before he left Black Series, but the Thrawn, I'm assuming, is a new piece.
That looks new.
It does, doesn't it? And it's obviously on the cards as well, because each of these figures is individually carded.
It's
So yeah,
it's winding me up even more looking at that Grievous on the box, because putting a Palpatine head there would have looked so much better.
Did you guys hear the original rumor for this before it was announced?
No,
because the original rumor was that it was a 5-pack with Palpatine and Maul as well.
See, that would have made even more sense. That would have made a lot more sense. If you're going to set Masters of Evil, like, at least have characters that are correspondent with one another. I mean, Vader and Thrawn make a little bit of sense. Grievous, though, just feels like a random throw-in, because it's like, oh, we've got a surplus of all these Clone Wars Grievous figures that didn't sell, so let's just get rid of them. And it's like you said as well, James, before we went live, the fact that in the press release they've listed him as concept colours, even though it's literally a repack of the Grievous that came on that Clone Wars 20th anniversary card. Like, no, it don't fly for me, I'm afraid, lads. It's another no from me. I think if the Salamiri is the same one that came with the Dark Empire Luke, I'm going to pick that figure up eventually, because it's pretty much on deep discount anyway. I'll just get the regular Thrawn and make this myself, because I'm not going to splash how much is this set? Another 70 quid set?
Yeah,
Something stupid, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that, I don't think. But I don't want to be too negative. And I don't want to focus on the bad. So even though it's still there as a meh, but I'm gonna have to buy one.
Sea Lion Studios' comment is
yeah, Admiral Pillion would have been new head sculpt. Get him in. What we thinking about these? Because we on the last stream we did with the Forces with Jesse, we touched on the Holocom stuff briefly, and I think the general consensus amongst us was that the initial wave of Holocom figures that Hasbro didn't make a ton of sense. These are very nice,
juicy,
aren't they?
Tasty.
Yeah, the Vader especially, like, I think is, even if you're not a full-blown Black Series collector, I've seen a lot of comments online that have said, I'm picking that Vader up to go on my desk. I think it's a really cool idea. And the Maul, it's good, but for me it's bittersweet, because it's almost like I know you all want a Star Wars story Maul, but you're not getting one.
Oh dear. Reading my mind again.
Bastards. So it's like, I like it, but it's like, life is good, but it could be better. You know what I mean? So what about you?
I love these. Not so much the Vader, but then again, at the same time, I appreciate it. It's not one I'll be picking up, but as a little on my shrine, Maul is the one, and I think these are great. These are just, I think the concept's great, like we said before.
Yeah.
But it's just some of the character selections have been a bit weird. These are right, because these are like main characters. They'll sell. And I think as well, we talked about. Yeah, I am. I am a massive simp for Maul. It does have to be said. I do think about him. I mean, I've even got bed sheets with Darth Maul on. Can we see that?
Lads.
Let's just have a quick Jedi in the streets, Sith in the sheets.
Oh, mate.
Don't ask him about his double-bladed lightsaber, ladies.
Tis retractable, I can confirm. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, I love my honey boy. I need him. And also I think, you know what? Great. It's great for people, like you said, people can put it on the desk. And also I think the cosplay community may have a bit of a field day with some of these. I've thought recently, because you could see some people maybe just sticking them on, walking around with them as if it's a that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's a cool idea. I like the Vader. I really like the Vader, and I'm getting the Vader just so I can put a polystyrene coffee cup over it. If you know, you know.
Robot chicken.
Yeah, boy.
Oh yes, I got it.
Come on.
I
James
must,
is like, James is like, what the fuck?
I'm more disappointed with myself because I've watched Robot Chicken religiously and I can't bloody remember that.
So for James and for those who are watching that might not know, there's a scene in Robot Chicken where Veers is in the cockpit of the AT-AT, and obviously when Vader pops up on the hologram projector, he's like, "Oh yeah, we gone fucked up," and Vader's not a very happy bunny, is he? But in the Robot Chicken sketch, Veers panics, grabs a coffee cup, and just puts it over the hologram. And it's the funniest thing. So yeah, this gets a win for me. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. The Vader, I think it's really, really good. I think Vader and the Emperor are the two ones that you know, if they'd just done them from the beginning, everybody would be absolutely buzzing.
I'll probably get the Vader when it's an Amazon exclusive, at least in the UK, so it'll be discounted.
Great minds think alike. Sea Lion Studios. Great minds think alike. But yeah, I'm happy about these. I just hope that this does bring us one step closer to a Maul figure from Solo.
Yeah,
I really do.
I'd eat that up.
Yeah, but yeah, decent. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. So going into, we'll touch base on, because I know that for the most part the three of us are primarily Black Series, so we'll touch base on the legacy scale first, because there were, I mean, don't get me wrong, like I don't, other than the occasional figure, I don't really dabble in vintage collection much these days, but when I do, I make sure it's the characters and the figures that I really, really want. And they don't come much better than this. Like, holy Jesus Christ. I am loving this.
Just some zombie boys, isn't it?
It's so good. It's hands down, like, I think other than the Rebel Fleet Trooper set they did, because I've got a soft spot for that set, given the Tantive 4 setup that I've got, this is the best army builder pack they've done.
Yeah.
It's absolutely awesome.
I bought two.
You bought two?
Yeah, I was just about to say it. I think that's the thing I really want to talk about with this, is the fact that there are, given obviously buying multiple sets of these, it's not really an army builder pack in the sense that you can army build it because Enoch's in there and obviously he's a unique character. But the zombie troopers, it was Jock Martin who pointed out to me about the possibility of boiling and popping the part on the figures to make all these different variations of the night troopers, and I'm loving that. So I'm definitely getting this.
The majority of Enoch's a stormtrooper body as well, so there's a little more variation if you want to just, like, let's say somebody buys 5, you share his limbs around with the boys.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a lot of possibility, I think, and I think
the black hole's grabbing Dan. I can hear it.
Well, me and Steve were talking when we got that. We went to that fake minifigure guy, didn't we?
Yeah. Shout out to City Figures.
Shout out to City Figures. Because I went back and bought some more because we were like, oh, we should have a massive like.
Oh, sorry, I can't stop thinking of City Walk from South Park.
She what?
Oh dear, I'm sorry. Continue. Ignore me.
Yeah, having just like a whole row of them, just a massive garrison.
Yeah,
I
think it's probably a given as well. I think what would have been better. I mean, I don't want to just shit on all this stuff that Hasbro have revealed, because I don't want to be that person that's like, yeah, it's good, but this is what you should have done. I don't want to be that guy, but I think it's a given. I'm going to be that guy. I think it's a given that Enoch's going to get a basic carded release.
Yeah.
And so I think it would have been better if they'd have just done that and released 4 Night Troopers in the box set. But, it is what it is. I'm glad that we've got this. The only other thing that gets me is I just wish battle packs were still a thing, because the boxes for these are fine. The artwork's cool and they're all uniformed and what have you. But to have these like in a window box with a cardboard diorama and stuff like back in the day,
especially in them poses where they're all zombie.
Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine?
So cool.
Yeah, it'd have made such a beautiful inbox piece if they'd done it that way. But beggars can't be choosers. Like I said, I'm just glad that we've got this. It looks amazing. I can't wait to get it. Yeah, more of this, please, Hasbro. This is the stuff we want.
Yeah.
Keep it coming.
Oh.
And like Matthew from Twin Sons pointed out as well, the fact that they've sculpted the strapping, the Night Sister strapping is top tier. Yeah, loving it. Really, really good. Carrying on with Vintage Collection. Another thing that I'm really, really excited about, and I'm guessing this isn't going to get you guys going as much as it is me, but this is absolutely, I am buzzing about this figure. I am so excited. Like, I think it's a given that most collectors have been pining for an update to the VOTC layer that they did back in 2004. That's when we last got a brand new sculpt of Princess Leia from A New Hope in 3 3/4 inch scale. So to finally have this is
20 bloody years.
Exactly. It's absolutely insane. Like the amount of, I can only imagine the amount of new collectors who've gotten into this hobby in the last 20 years who've been pining for a definitive layer and have been looking at like secondary market prices of that one and not being able to get one. This is awesome. I love it. And going back to what we were saying earlier about the troop builder packs, and obviously I've got a little Tantive 4 diorama set up in my collection. Like this is going to be the perfect accompaniment to that. I can't wait. And the fact she comes with the hood as well.
Yeah.
It's cool. So good. So good. I can't wait to get it. I can't wait to stick it in the blockade runner. Awesome. Love it. And I'm praying that we get to the other characters as well. I need an updated Farm Boy Luke. I need an updated Han. Like, this has got to be the catalyst to that, surely.
You would hope.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. What about you guys? How are you feeling about this one? Because I know, like I said, we're mostly Black Series now, aren't we, for the most part? But
to be fair, if they did the rest of your core characters, then I'd probably buy them.
Yeah.
Just for like a one-off display.
Yeah.
At the forefront of my mind, though, is the thought of having this upscaled to the Black Series, because the one we got, whenever it was, is not the best.
Yeah.
So, and you'll have all them people out there, oh no, it's for vintage, you can't have it, you've already got one. It's like, yeah, well, sod off.
I was initially really not bothered about this, and then when I realised how long ago it's been since we've had, a layer in 3 3/4 inch, then I think it's well deserved, well needed.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll get it, but I'm happy for those that are going to.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm absolutely buzzing about it. I think for me, what it is the fact that, because when this got announced, I took a look at my Tantive 4 setup, because I've got the VOTC layer in there at the minute. So I thought I'm going to have a look at this figure just to see how it, in comparison, how it holds up. And to say that we, like 20 years ago, we thought that was the definitive layer. What a bag of shit. It's so bad. Like swivel elbows, the face is crap. Like, I'm so glad it's getting an update. Long, long overdue. And I'm stoked about it. Really, really happy. So thank you, Hasbro. Thank you very, very much. You've made this collector very, very happy. I think we can probably just breeze over the next few vintage collection reveals, because they're
Yay, Stormtrooper!
Stormtrooper.
Go
see, I have watched it. I have watched it. See.
It's there. I think this has got to be like the 4th, 5th bloody Stormtrooper that we've had released in the vintage collection in the past couple of years.
Isn't this one just a straight reissue anyway?
I don't know. I don't care. Like, it's fine. Don't get me wrong. It's always good to have Stormtroopers readily available. So I'm all for it in that sense. It's been that for I think the thing I'm trying to like talk myself back into is the fact that we've all got God knows how many stormtroopers in our collections. There are new collectors out there that don't, and for us, it's been there and done that. But for someone else who's new to the hobby, this is like, and to get this version first is like, we've had to wait years for a definitive stormtrooper like this. They're getting it right off the bat. So, again, like Dan said, I don't want this. I'm happy for the people that do. So, but there we go. What's this that Matthew's chimed in? An ex-Hasbro sculptor did also let slip on Instagram that there might be another version with a soft goods skirt, so that'd be good for those who don't love the plastic skirt. Oh, with regards to Leia, that's fine. Neither here nor there for me. I mean, I think my only issue with the Leia about the plastic skirt is the fact that there's going to be a lot of people out there that probably want to pose a knelt down feeding the plans to R2. You're not going to be able to do that with a plastic skirt, but neither here nor there for me with regards to that. Love that as well. But now this one has the warning logo at the bottom so you can see the lightsaber in the top right.
Don't eat your figures, adults and kids.
Stick them up your arse.
Oh, excuse me, keep that trick away from there.
It's quite an achievement to campaign about for 2 years, isn't it?
Yeah, bloody hell. I mean, again, we got a reveal of Vader as well. Same sentiment, really. It's not for me. I'm not really bothered. This is a slight retool of the Dark Times Vader, I believe, from Obi-Wan. It's just got the tabards over the armor, or under the armor. It's a New Hope, so it's over the armor. So yeah, it's just a slight variant, which again, happy for those.
Same crap cape.
Yeah, it's probably going to be too big. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's the definitive Vader, definitely.
Yeah, it's cool, yeah.
And the images look great, but again,
it's certainly a Vader.
It's one of the Darth Vader figures I've seen.
One of the Darth Vaders. It's one of the many Darth Vader figures I've seen.
And then again, same sort of issue with R2. This is a variant, I believe, of a vintage collection figure that we got in 2019, where they issued a dirty R2 on a vintage card, and for some reason there was a clamour for a clean R2 on that card, so that's what we're getting. I'm glad that they're paying that kind of attention to the people that want this stuff, but like I said, for me, it's just I've got a number of R2s in my collection. I don't need this one.
I think it's about time they got rid of that Build-A-Droid body, to be honest.
Do you know what? I'm with you. I think if it wasn't for the fact that we got a newly tooled Black Series R2 recently, I'd probably say, no, it's fine. But I think, it's probably time for an update. But I still think the Build-A-Droid body holds up, if I'm being honest.
I think it's just a bit chunky for me. I've only got R5 from The Mandalorian, so take from that what you will, but it's looks like a bath toy.
I still like it. I mean, the last R2 that I got that's probably got some sort of similarity to this one is the Force Link one from The Last Jedi.
That's
I
good
love it.
one.
It really is. It really is, and I still like that Build-A-Droid body. I think probably because it kicks me in the nostalgia from sort of like 2007. It's keeping that tie.
That's fair. I mean, I haven't necessarily got that attachment, so yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it's again, like I said, it's not something I'm overly bothered about, but I'm happy for those that are. So, but we did get some new character reveals as well from the vintage collection. Obviously, yeah.
Did we?
Yes, we did. with the Acolyte on the horizon, we got Jedi Master Sol from the Acolyte, which, again, if I get any of these figures from the show, I'm probably going to get the Black Series ones. But
Black Series did it.
I don't expect the rest of the characters in next year's March Madness bracket.
Yeah, but looks good. I like the card art. The character design I really like. I'm so keen to see Jedi from this era in action on screen. So it's nice, I think, mainly to have figures available at the same time as media. That's the best.
That's the best, man.
I mean, I've seen a lot of arguments for and against it in terms of, I don't know these characters. I'm not gonna invest in the figures until I learn more about them, which I appreciate. But then at the same time, if you watch an episode of this on June 4th and you love it and you want stuff from it, you can go to the store or you can go online and you can buy the figure. That's something we haven't had for a while. They did it a little bit with Ahsoka, but they haven't done that for a very, very long time. So I'm buzzing about this. The fact that product is on shelf at the same time as a media release is really, really good.
Yeah, definitely. I think for me, it's good to see Jedi because the Black Series become very vintage collection as well. I would say blaster riddled. You've got, and that's fair enough because that's with the media that's coming out. So it's nice to see not only a show that focuses on Jedi a bit more, and getting Jedi figures. So I'm happy about that. Give me all the Jedi. I want to see some lightsabers on my shelf.
I'm with you. To be fair, I never really gave it much thought until you just said it about the Black Series being blaster heavy, and then I've just taken a look at my collection display and I've seen my gaming greats and multimedia setup with all the Sith Lords from Knights of the Old Republic and Starkiller and Cal Kestis, and I just see all these lightsabers just crossing each other, and I'm like, yeah, more of that. That's why I'm so excited about the Acolyte from that shot in the trailer where all the lightsabers just light up. It's like, give me that. I can't wait.
It's so Attack of the Clones, isn't it?
Yeah, big time.
I love it, man.
That's
one of my favourite shelves, like you just said, because you've got all those different lightsabers that are crossing. So,
yeah,
totally more Jedi.
Agree. Yeah, definitely. And the last vintage collection reveal we got was May. I'm guessing it's pronounced May.
I think so.
Again, from the Acolyte. I'm guessing May is the Acolyte. Is that where we're going with this? Because she seems to be the main protagonist, antagonist. My bad. In the show, so I'm guessing she's the Acolyte that the title refers to. That's the way I'm leaning. What about you guys? What do you think?
I ain't got a clue.
I don't know.
Do you just mean like she's an acolyte? The name refers to her, or that she's like an eventual
like she's
lightsaber wielding?
Like she's an acolyte. I'm guessing that like the Acolyte is going to be an acolyte of the dark side, and I'm wondering if she's going to be the Acolyte in question.
Right.
I don't know.
Mean,
or do we think is the Acolyte a higher power? What?
I'm not going to say anything like it's out there on the internet if you want to look for it, but Hasbro already spoiled who uses that red lightsaber in the trailer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So, disclaimer, I didn't see this, so disclaimer, for anyone who's watching who doesn't want spoilers, tune out because James is going to drop some tea.
Am I? I don't have to tell people, it's okay. Unless...
No, I want you to.
Right.
I want to know now.
The lightsaber on the poster that is painted to be red.
Yeah.
Bravo, sir. Bravo.
I love that.
I don't know the character's name yet because we haven't had the show. The lady that's in the show that was in the Matrix.
Oh.
Right.
If you look at the lightsaber that comes with the Black Series figure, it's the same one that's on the poster.
Oh, is it Indara?
I think so, yeah.
Did I master Indara? The one I've
that rings the bell.
The one I've got in the thumbnail for the stream that's like, what?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Now, whether it's her or whether it just happens to be the lightsaber and someone else uses it, we'll find out. But, yep. Good job, Hasbro.
Okay, that's interesting. I think one of the things I wanted to touch on with this figure is I think I spoke about this with a mate at work the other day, and I just said like I think for me with like I don't have much of an issue with Disney or Star Wars. For the most part, I've enjoyed everything they've put out. Rise of Skywalker. Sorry, I had a bit of shit in my throat. But for the most part, I've loved it. I've loved it. Sorry, bad taste. For the most part, I've loved it. But the one thing that I've found has sort of disconnected me from some stuff has been the aesthetic of it all. One of the things that I touched base on with my mate at work was the fact that, like, for example, Andor, loved the series, but it felt very grounded. It felt very earthly in its aesthetic. It felt real, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And the thing I'm getting from the Acolyte, again, I know the fact that it's set one to 200 years before the Phantom Menace, so aesthetically, visually, it's going to be different. But I can't. I with new content, I struggle to place it in the same timeline as the other stuff we've had until it's sat and simmered for a bit. Like,
Yeah.
I was exactly the same with the sequel trilogy stuff. When it came out, I was like, yeah, it looks good, but it doesn't really feel like Star Wars yet. But now it's been sat in the canon for a while. It's like, yeah, that's Star Wars. I feel a little bit like that with this. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, there's something about it that just doesn't gel as Star Wars for me yet, other than the lightsabers and stuff and the Jedi and what have you. But
Yeah.
and part of my thought process and part of my feeling towards that is this character. Like, her character design doesn't quite gel with me yet. I don't know. I can't describe it. It's weird. It's a weird feeling.
I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. I think you need the context. You need the context with some stuff.
Oh yeah,
You
definitely.
maybe make a purchase, and that's I see that, because this didn't really jump out at me when they showed it. I was kind of okay, that's cool. It's a nice look at something new, but yeah, I'd need to see the character. I'm probably going to get it anyway in Black Series at least, but
yeah,
it's just got to be done. But yeah,
I think I'm definitely leaning more towards. I mean, we'll get into it when we talk about the Black Series figures, but I'm definitely leaning more towards the Jedi character designs from this show. Like, I love the fact that we're getting all these different Jedi. Like, someone pointed out in a comment on a post recently, like, Jedi power battle vibes, man. Like, you know, it's 1999 all over again. Seeing the Jedi at the height of the power and seeing all these really cool Jedi figures coming out, like, I'm absolutely stoked. So yeah, really, really excited about the Acolyte in general, and obviously the figures from it.
Small question for somebody that was still, very young in '99.
Just a baby.
Not to make people feel old. That's where that version of Plo Koon comes from, with the yellow lightsaber and the yellow robe, right?
Yeah.
We left that out of the trailer analysis. Is that Caldor that we see, Plo Koon? And if so, can he please just have a yellow lightsaber? Just for that reason? Nothing else? I don't care. Oh, yes, he's got a blue lightsaber and everything else, but
this is another thing I was...
Write a reasoning. It comes before it.
This is another thing I was talking about with my mate, is that I'm not... Everybody's going ape that's Plo Koon that you see briefly in the trailer. I have no idea how old Plo Koon is. Fake fan strikes back.
It's all right. I googled it.
So is there even a remote possibility that it could be?
I mean...
Go on, Dan.
Oh, well, sorry, I was going to say, I happened to go in HMV the other day and had a little flick through High Republic comic, and Maz appears in it.
Oh, yes,
that's
right.
Yeah, which I didn't realise.
Oh, that's cool.
So at this point, I'm like, anyone could show up. Anyone.
That's one of the things, again, going back to the conversation I had at work, that's one of the things I said to my mate, is that, when you think about characters that could show up, because my missus said, "Oh, could Chewbacca be in it? Because Chewbacca's old." I'm like, he could, yeah, but there's not really much point. So, But then I thought, hang on a minute, Maz Kanata, she's ran that watering hole for 1,000 years.
Yeah,
she's going to be there on Takodana. She's got these. She knows stuff about Jedi and Sith. Like, she's gonna. I just had a thought.
Oh, yes, please.
Oh, Maz Kanata narrating it.
Oh.
I've seen the same eyes in different people. Like, that'd be so good. And it would just bridge it all together so well. Like, you'd have prequels tied in. Oh, yeah.
And then all the people that hate the sequel trilogy would suddenly have to swallow their pride.
Yeah. No, because they'd still find a reason to say that the Acolyte was crap. So, you know, it is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah. There'll be a brick or a screw somewhere in it for someone to moan about.
What will be, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, lots of food for thought when it comes to the Acolyte. We obviously got some vintage collection reveals in the pipeline as well on the Imperial March, and I've got to say I'm pretty excited about some of these. I love the variety that's going on here. This is really, really fun for me. So we'll go around, like there's a graphic on screen for those that are watching, and we'll touch base on what was shown. We've got a jetpack trooper. No, it's fine. Yeah,
Stormtrooper.
Yep, Stormtrooper. Yeah, I'm keen. I'm guessing this is from Battlefront.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm getting from the picture that I'm getting a Star Tours vibe. Do you remember that pack that came out years ago with the jetpack stormtrooper with Vader and the platform from Star Tours and stuff? I'm thinking that with this one, and I'd love that if it was like a redo of that figure from that set. Like I'm a bit of a nut when it comes to like Disneyland merch and stuff from the Star Tours rides and all that sort of stuff. So if this is a jetpack trooper on a vintage card on a vintage Star Tours card, I'd die. Like, I'd love it.
I'm sure the rest of the vintage collection community would as well for different reasons.
No, I'd love it. I think it'd be so good.
No, I'm with you, mate. We've said before, haven't we? Weird Star Wars is the best Star Wars.
Exactly, yeah. I'd give it me in droves, please. Throwny boys there again. Dan, discuss.
I just bought this one. I've just bought this one, and now they've got another Thrawn coming for me. Come on now.
We knew it was coming though, didn't we? Here
we go. Becky's build's attacking me again. Come on now.
Absolutely. You know he will.
You know I will. You know I'll be bringing that home.
He's going to end up... I'm surprised we're not, already on Kyle Katarn levels with Thrawn, mate. I mean, you haven't got 6.
I mean, yeah, to be fair, I did pick up 3 of him.
Why?
I don't know. He was there, and I was like, "Oh, Thrawn's on a shelf," even though I've got some coming through in the post.
He's
I need him now.
I've done that many times, Dan.
Good lord. You've got 99 problems, Dan, and 3 of them are the same Thrawn figure.
It's always the blue boys. It's always the blue boys.
What else have we got in this pipeline? 4-pack of X-Wing pilots is quite intriguing. I'm hoping that this is sort of updates to pilots we've already had. I'd like new sculpts of some of the Snowspeeder pilots from Empire Strikes Back, because some of those older ones don't really hold up from sort of like the Evolution sets and stuff. So I'm probably not going to grab it because again, it's sort of been there, done that for me. But again, excited for those that do care.
Hasbro need to make vehicles for that to make sense, really, don't they?
Yeah. I mean, if they're doing this, I do wonder whether a reissue or a resculpt of the Snowspeeder is on the cards.
Haslab, May 4th.
Oh, don't. It's not. They can't do it. They can't.
Do that.
No, they can't. I don't think they do a 3 3/4 inch one anyway. But there we go.
Yeah.
Moving on. Blurg and the Mandalorian. I'm very excited about this. I'm absolutely buzzing, and I'm really happy that I didn't buy a Mission Fleet one now, because I came very close.
Yeah.
How many years? See. 5 years it's taken them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like.
I'll still buy it.
I'm gonna get one for definite. I like that they're doing this. I'm guessing this is going to be in the same sort of ballpark as the vehicles that they've done in the vintage collection recently, like the speeder bikes and stuff. It's going to come in a plastic-free box, and it's going to be about 45, 50 quid, which bit steep, but it's something that we want, I think. So,
Do you think they'll do the new hips on the Mandalorian?
I think they've got to, unless they do it in a very vintage-esque way of just putting like a slot on the top of the blade where it just drops in. Like,
oh, I wouldn't be mad at that.
no, I think it'd work in retro for definite, but
Yeah,
I think they've got to do something. I'm hoping that the Mando that's in this set isn't like a straight repack of that original one from 2019. I'm hoping there is something different about it. I'm guessing soft goods cape's going to have to be one of the givens on
ooh,
that.
yeah.
Isn't
They'll
it?
have to do the Beskar pauldron as well.
Yeah. So it's going to be a retool, if not a completely new figure, isn't it? Which
I
is
mean, I've got 6,000 already. What's one more Mandalorian?
exactly.
So
Exactly. And finally, a playset pipeline, which I'm again really, really keen for.
I'm curious to see how that's going to work, considering we've had that Dark Trooper Deluxe figure. Is that going to have a thing that connects onto it? Kind
I
of like
think
the
so.
layer, the tons of...
I think there's going to be slots
Yeah.
where you can put those in. Definitely.
Door bashing action!
Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Yeah, no, I think if they do this in the same sort of vein as the Tantive before, I think this could be really fun.
Yeah.
So I'm
did you see the figure that they apparently packaging with it?
No. Is it what
on,
is it? Is it
on the stream? They said it was just going to be a Mandalorian mercenary. I'm assuming it's going to be one of those random ones from season 3 or one of Axwove's little brigade. It's like completely irrelevant, where it's going to get people to buy it that wouldn't, I suppose, like me.
I wonder if, because I think the last time they did some vintage collection pipelines, they pipelined a Mandalorian Night Owl, a male one, not a, because they've done the female Night Owl in the Black Series, haven't they? That's coming out soon, the Cosca Reeves repaint. But
I think that was Black Series as well.
Yeah. Oh no, it was vintage collection because it was in the same pipeline as the Episode 2 clone. And
the orange, they had the picture of the orange Mando, didn't they?
That's the Mandalorian Judge, which is also
okay.
Also,
there's too many Mandos.
Too many.
No, the Night Owl's very similar to. It looked like in the image they showed, because it's been so long since we've done a stream. I went back and watched some of the ones that we'd done previously, and I looked at that one in particular, where the Night Owl was announced as a pipeline, and it was vintage collection, but it was very, very similar to Axwove's in terms of color palette and stuff like that. So I wonder if they're going to chuck it in with this. Now you've said that, I don't know. Maybe not.
Hasbro don't know, do they?
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Two vintage collection reveals that I forgot to touch base on before we jumped into the pipeline stuff, but they were only revealed, I think, a couple of days ago, so they were a last minute addition. With these two, which again, I struggle to get really, really excited over vintage collection these days, so these don't really do much for me, but it's interesting that they've dropped this new vintage collection Dark Trooper, at a time where the deluxe one they previously re-released is so low in price on many different websites. And this one is probably going to be a little bit more expensive than the clearance price on the deluxe one, which comes with more stuff.
Yep.
So poorly timed.
Just to remind everybody out there, Hasbro is a business.
It's just, why didn't they do this in the first place, though? That's the thing. It's like, I don't know.
I don't either. Like Sea Lion Studios said, saw the deluxe Dark Trooper reduced to $18.99 at Forbidden Planet today. Might get that one instead.
Yep.
Makes more sense. I mean, with the cruiser playset coming out, it's time to army build those coffins for them. I believe this Dark Trooper is due to land at the same time as the playset, so we can recreate the rescue. But it's annoying he has one closed hand here. Yeah, that's That's a
It was a
point.
missed opportunity not to use that fire effect from the rescue set.
Mm. Yeah, or maybe like even just like release a battle damaged Dark Trooper on a vintage card with like an image of the crushed.
Oh, why didn't they use that for the playset?
Yeah,
That'd have been mint.
Deluxe Luke it with the crushed
Dark
Trooper.
Like scale down the Hot Toys one and have
the on
like,
the stand, and then you can put it in
boy.
Oh
man, what could have been? What could have been? JJ mentions the timing's always off. I understand logistics and approvals and shipping, etc., but sometimes it's borderline shameful or embarrassing. He's got a point.
I do like the HK-87 assassin droid though.
I do.
It comes with the Force Pike, or Electro Staff rather.
Yeah, I'm gonna be that guy though. I wish it was Black Series.
Same. Same. Yeah. Even though I could just do that with the Magna Guard that I bought with the spare staffs I've got, but
I had a look at doing that down, and my brain was going, "It's not right. You can't put that on your shelf."
Nah, I mean, do you know what? I've yet to pick up either of these figures in their previous incarnations from the vintage collection. I haven't. To be fair, I haven't even got a Black Series HK droid yet. So this is actually something that I might consider picking up because I've got a small little gathering of 3 3/4 inch Mando sort of era figures going on now, and that shelf's starting to fill up. So yeah, I think I might dabble in these. I might pick them up. Yeah, bugger it. Why not? Why not? So yeah, that wraps it up for vintage collection. Overall thoughts, lads?
Yeah,
I mean it's alright.
It's alright. It's not bad. It'll be better.
It's alright. It's alright. Yeah, it's vintage. It's vintage. But hey ho, there we go. Moving on to Black Series.
The Chad Black Series.
The creme de la creme. Let's talk about helmets.
Oh,
because right. Yeah. Again, I'm trying not to be too negative, and this is cool.
This one's just a prototype, guys. It's like, is it? You sure about that?
Oh, when he nearly fucking broke it on the stream.
Right, okay, so you guys clearly have more thoughts on this than I do. Do you know what? This is... I'm sure I'm in the majority when I say, like, in Season 3 of The Mandalorian, when Moff Gideon shows up and he's got the Mando armor and he's like, oh, what a sexy costume, right? But the fact that we're getting this before we're getting... Christ, I don't know. Let me look around. A Jango Fett helmet.
Yep.
Before we're getting, let me look around. A Phase 1 Clone Trooper helmet. The fact we're getting this before we're getting an AT-AT driver helmet. You know, I'm just not. It's cool again for those who want it, but for me, it does absolutely bugger all. I thought I was going to like it more than I do, given how much I love that costume in the show, but it just doesn't get me excited at all.
Did his visor even light up in the show? Well, I've got memories of it being reflective chrome.
I can't remember. I mean, that's one thing I must admit is that I like that it's got a light up visor. I think that's quite a cool bit of that's quite a cool bit of gear, but I don't know. It's just, I think it's the fact that I just don't like if this was a Black Series 6-inch figure of Moff Gideon in his Dark Trooper armor, then I'd be absolutely buzzing.
Yeah.
But it's just the helmet, and it doesn't. Yeah, I'm just like.
Yeah.
That's what does it for me, Steve, because you know they're gonna announce that or pipeline a Mandalorian Moff Gideon, and they're like, "Oh well, we're sorry we couldn't get this out any earlier, but it takes over a year to make a figure, don't you know? But you've made the helmet, so why isn't the figure coming out at the same time as the helmet?"
Exactly. But like I said, I'm guessing you guys have more thoughts on this than I do because you laughed when I put it on screen. So
It was a poor move just bringing out the prototype. Because as soon as they brought that out and bits were falling off it, I don't know. It was just a bit like, why have you
Is
done
that what happened? Because I didn't watch it.
Oh.
The side panel came off. They're like, it's all right, that's where the batteries go.
It's the prototype.
You're joking.
Also, side note, why did you need 5 people to talk about products? You didn't need that. Was that just me? But
yeah.
I just got to throw that out there because it really annoyed me. And he stood there with his helmet. It's like, no, I'm not.
I mean, my main thought is that I don't fucking care. I don't know, man. It's like, I've got my Captain Rex one. I'm a happy boy. I'd be happy if I didn't have to get another helmet, but you know, it's old news.
Yeah.
Bad Batch is on. I like a crosshair helmet.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, or
Wrecker.
I think this is one of the things, isn't it? I think Hasbro have got a tendency at the minute to really focus on new media, which is fine, but they've got this tendency of focusing on new media, and I think in a lot of ways they overestimate how much people not enjoy it, but how much people take away from it. And they think, yeah, that was cool. Look at the response to that thing in the show. Let's make that. When I think in a lot of cases, people appreciate what they're seeing on screen, but they don't always necessarily want it
as a product.
As a tangible thing.
Yeah.
Not just yet, anyway. You know, I think you need to forge more of a connection to stuff before you want to drop God knows how much money on it. And I mean, when you consider how many of the helmets have gone to clearance in recent years, I mean, Rex helmet aside, like, you know, as soon as that got announced and was available for pre-order, I bashed that button.
Yeah.
Like,
chance that's selling out.
You know,
no matter how slim the chances were.
But I think that's the thing is, like, you know, and I think if you gauge that reaction and you look at how many people instantly pre-ordered a Rex helmet or even a Scout Trooper helmet, you know, people want that stuff because they've forged a connection to it. This is fine. This is cool, but I don't want it yet because it's not simmered.
It's only appeared in like 1 or 2 episodes, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So like, it's fine, but like you said, there's no real connection like you've got with a Rex helmet or a Bi-Scout helmet.
Yeah,
they threw it off as well, didn't they?
Yeah, which I don't get me wrong. I sound like a massive hypocrite when I say stuff like that because, you know, for a lot of stuff, I'm like, I want it now. Like, as soon as those Imperial Commandos were seen in season 3, I was like, I want a figure of that. I want a figure of that now. But I want a 20 quid figure of it. I don't want a 150 quid helmet. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing. Well, that's the kicker.
But then also, it's interesting to talk about the price point of it because didn't they change the price of it recently?
They did, yeah. Which I must admit was pleasant because they dropped it. They didn't hire it. I think it was initially released and available for pre-order at 150.
Yeah. And
it's dropped to $99.99.
Why does that not sit well with me, given what was shown on the live stream?
What do you mean? in what sense?
In the sense that bits were falling off it, and it just... I know they'll definitely probably refine it. I'd like to think they'd refine it. But the fact that it was...
lower prices. They put prices up. Why is this cheaper? Is it because people didn't like it? Why have I just had to pay out for my Rex helmet? Which I'm not mad about, but, I mean... Why was that? Like, what, 140 quid is it retail? It's not where I paid, but is that where it is? What, you know, why is this 40 quid cheaper all of a sudden?
Yeah. I think that was really interesting because it was just a bit like, oh, it's now cheaper. And I was like,
I think,
does it come in a plastic bag instead of a box?
I mean, to summarise the point that JJ's made here, he said, sorry to offend anyone, don't worry, you haven't. But I think this is ugly, cheap looking and inaccurate, but I support people if they want to customise or cosplay. That's the thing, isn't it? Like, I think, for me, the issue with this is that, it's cool, and I want an action figure of it, but the helmet itself, as a product, I'm not. It's there's nothing to it. It's a big, chunky black piece of plastic, and it's just not inspiring me. You know what I mean? I look at it and I'm like, on screen it looks great with the ensemble,
Yeah.
but as a piece on its own, I don't think it's got that weight. Do you know what I mean?
I think you see that with the Rebel helmets as well, actually. Just to touch base on that, because the Rebel helmets have been the ones to kind of drop price. Maybe not Luke and the OT ones, but stuff like Trapper Wolf and is it Carson Trevor? Yeah. I think they're going down in price pretty quickly.
Well, I mean, it's like the Trapper Wolf helmet's been reduced to 30 quid in some game stores over here, which I think is bloody good.
Yeah.
And for that price, it makes the helmet look better than it is.
Yeah.
But I still don't want it.
Yeah. But it's like you say, it's forging that connection. It's wanting that tangible thing, and this just doesn't really hit the mark, I think, for me. Like I said, and like JJ's mentioned, like we've all said, like if you're happy about this and you want it, fully support you. I'm happy for you. Can't wait for you to get it, but doesn't do anything for me. If it had been a Jango Fett helmet, then I think the reaction would have been very different. Yeah, I think that'd have been really cool. Commander Cody.
Oh.
You know, just to go alongside that Rex helmet that just came out. If they did a Commander Cody to go along with that, can you imagine? And that's another thing where you're gonna be able to gauge that reaction. People are going to be bashing the pre-order button so hard as soon as that gets revealed.
Yeah.
And whereas with stuff like this, it's like, yeah, take it or leave it. But that's just three men's opinions.
we were on about it the other day, Steve, weren't we? They should repaint the Scout Trooper helmet to be Ezra's from Rebels.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely.
I'd eat that up.
Yeah, and I think that's one of those things as well. Like, I don't think, obviously there are going to be pockets of fans that have that connection with that helmet that you've just mentioned. Me, I'm not. I don't have any sort of emotional attachment to that piece. I remember it vaguely from the show, but visually it's much more interesting.
Yeah.
It's a much more aesthetically appeasing piece.
I'd have taken something like the Armorer's helmet over this.
Oh yeah.
I'm just having a quick scan of some of the stuff that they could have done instead, and when it's funny that you mention Ezra, because one of the first things I thought was Ezra's season 1 helmet. You know, the Clone Cadet helmet.
That one.
Yeah. You know, throwing things out into left field, Macquarie Concept Vader.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? Just
Stormtrooper.
Just Stormtrooper.
Stormtrooper Jesse.
Yeah, you know, ARC Troopers. I don't know. There's multiple.
Free Bistler.
Yeah. There's multiple things they could have done that I think would have perhaps got people a little bit more excited about a new helmet release than this one. I mean, like I said, I love it. I think it looks great. But I think this particular helmet, it needs the rest of the outfit to carry that weight. And yeah, I think we're spending a little bit too much time on this than we should, but moving on, more positive. Boom. Come on.
Yes.
Let's go. Thoughts, because I am a very, very happy chappy.
Yeah, the other day I was like, I've already got these. I don't need them. Said to me mate Roger, it's all right for those that, you know, want army build it, Bran, I got the room. It's like, today I've just been thinking about maybe buying 4 of them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I'm really, really happy about this because I missed out on the initial tanned battle droid.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I never got it. And bizarrely, like the secondary market price of that one's gone through the roof.
Yeah.
I did get the Gaming Greats one, the first Battlefront Gaming Greats battle droid.
Oh, that was horrible.
Which was
sorry.
And it kind of put me off. And so I haven't picked up any of the other the Black Series battle droids that they've done. But I've seen the way that I've seen some of the press shots pose these up. I think the thing that does it for me is I haven't picked up the Phase 2 Clone Trooper yet. So this gives me reason to hold off on that until this set comes out. I also want to do the Republic Commando setup that I think me and Dan have talked about on a previous stream, where we've got Boss or one of the Republic Commandos holding up the battle droid by the neck and shooting it. Like, I want to do that. I want that on my shelf. So that's the purpose that this set's going to serve for me. I love that it's a budget set as well. I love that they've taken the Marvel Legends route with this, in the sense that it's in a cardboard box, it's in plastic-free packaging, which keeps the cost down. It's a simple repack of 2 army builders, and it's, I think, what, 40 quid?
45.
Top, beautiful price point for an army builder set, I think.
2 packs have just been really missed with Black Series, haven't they? It's been something that they've not done since that. Was it the Admiral Akbar one and the Quentin Tarantino lookalike Imperial March? But that, it's been
I've been
years.
wondering what that reminded me of for bloody years, Dan.
But yeah, it's like it's been so long since we had a 2-pack, and 2-packs would be perfect for the Black Series. And
I mean, the 2-packs that they've done have been, like, for the most part, some of them have been a bit naff, but some of them, especially recently, have been really, really good. Like the Cad Bane and Cobb Vanth set is really good.
Yeah.
The Vader and Obi-Wan Macquarie concept set could have been so much better than it was, but it was still nice to see. It was nice that they tried something a little bit new. Even though the majority of it wasn't new.
It's now £32 on Star Action Figures. Is it about that?
Yeah. I'm going to nab that. That price got on it. Yeah. Nah, if it's cheap enough, I'm going to have it. But full price, you can get in the bin. What else?
People who paid that price for it must be feeling really stupid right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
The new Clone Trooper set that's coming from Ahsoka with the Phase 1 Clone Trooper and the 332nd Trooper, I pre-ordered that in an instant because it's something that I want. It's something, and I think it's one of those things, like I said, with this set as well. For me personally, I've not picked up either of these figures yet. So to see them get a re-release in this sort of format, it's like, I can evaluate my spending habits and my collecting choices as I go with stuff like this, because it's like, I haven't got around to picking up those figures yet. Now they've done this, I don't have to worry about that because I can get these instead, and it's going to cost me a little bit less. It's genius. Yeah. And I really want them to do more of this, like Rebel Fleet Trooper and a Stormtrooper. You know.
Oh, yes, please.
Like they've just done the Super Battle Droid. Put a Phase 1 Clone Trooper in with a Super Battle Droid. And do these budget army builder packs. Like I said, they've done it with Marvel Legends. There's no reason they can't do it with Star Wars. And this is a really, really good sign, I think. I can't wait for more of this.
Did you guys see the little update to the Super Battle Droid that comes in that 2-pack?
Yeah, with the plate that comes off.
Yeah, just speaking briefly about Republic Commando reminded me. You shoot them enough in the game, everything pops off. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they do, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh, now I need 2. Oh no!
It's alright then, because it's going to get a single carded release anyway.
Yeah, but I need it sooner.
No, I need it.
Isn't that the way?
It's the way. We also got. I'm going to get all the good stuff from Black Series out of the way first, because I want to keep the momentum rolling. There was another multi-pack that was revealed as part of the Imperial March campaign.
Baby.
Lads. Right.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Randy Marsh meme.
Spooky ghost.
Uncle Pleasant.
Do you know? And like, I'm going to get my thoughts out of the way first and foremost, because I think you guys again have probably got more to say about this than I have. I'm not one, like, I've known about these characters for many years, like going back to again, Fake Fan Strikes Back. I haven't read the books. I'm vaguely familiar with the story, but this is a real throwback for me to the Essential Guide to Characters books that were available in the 90s, because I remember reading about a lot of these characters. Well, not a lot of these characters. One character in particular. I'm not even going to attempt to butcher his name.
Joris Sabaoth.
There it is.
Or a Sabaoth.
There it is.
Or Jorus, if it's the clone.
One of the things we said and have said in a lot of the streams that we've done is weird Star Wars is the best Star Wars, and this is right there in the middle of it, because this is so weird. It's so bizarre, but it's another one of those sets where I'm really glad that it's come at a time that it has, because I've yet to pick up the 40th anniversary release of Return of the Jedi Luke.
Same.
I've yet to pick up Mara Jade from the expanded universe. So this, for me, obviously it's 2 repacks, some retooling, and some new stuff. But this, for me, is all new, because I don't have any of it. So I'm right there on it, and I can't wait to get it.
I'm not even mad that I've got Mara Jade, because the fact that it comes with an interchangeable head.
Yeah, exactly. You've got a new version of the character, haven't you? So it's I love it. I absolutely love it. And one of the things that, when it got revealed, the first thing I thought was, it just reminds me so much of some of the Toy Biz Spider-Man multi-packs that they used to do in the 90s.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
In the sense that it's laid out like this, it's got this 4-pack look to it, and it's like figures from comics and books, and it's just, it's so good. And I'm like,
the presentation as well is beautiful.
Yeah, it's the presentation of it, and it's just the fact that who ever thought, I mean, Matthew's touched base on it here, like, what a dream 4-pack, and hope it comes to 3 3/4 inch. I can't believe it's taken this long to get a Joris figure when we had comic packs years ago.
Yeah.
What a prime opportunity to release that character, and we never got him. And now in 2024, at a time where casual fans probably haven't got the foggiest fucking clue who this guy is, now we're getting it, and it's like, not only is Joris like just a weird character, but the fact that you've got a clone of Luke Skywalker, you've got Luke. It's mental, and I love it. It's so fucking weird.
Old dude with the big medallion, and another Luke with a weird mental face, and
that's what I really want to touch on, is the fact that we've got a facial expression on a Black Series figure.
Yeah,
like
I've
been calling out for different. I mean, I know we've had it in alternate heads with previous figures and exclusives and all that sort of stuff. Like, you see it with wrestling figures, and you see it with Marvel figures and stuff. These like screaming facial expressions and all these different facial gestures, but we never really get it with Black Series. We never really get it with Star Wars figures, to be fair. They're all very stoic. They're all very, unemotional. This is that the Luke in particular is just like, it's amazing. I've got multiple slides for this one, because it's just like I can't stop beaming about it.
It's so good, man. Like, I'm so happy with it. I'm so content with it that I don't know. I don't feel like just like saying everything that's good about it, if that makes any amount of remote sense. I'm just so at peace with it.
Yeah.
It's lovely, man. Like,
it's satisfying, isn't it? It's a proper satisfying release.
Like, I usually get so wound up when they cheap out and reuse things, but they've actually thought about doing that Luke version and taking the different parts from it. They could have just used any old legs, and they were like, no, let's use the Empire legs. And I mean, the only thing that it pokes me in the back of the head a little, because I'm broken, is the fact that it's going to be Anakin's lightsaber, not specifically Luke's. But I don't care. That it's just I know that, because unfortunately I fucking know that. I can't overlook the details. I'm just sharing it. I'm not mad about it. I'm not miserable about it. fucking losing the plot now because I'm just going on about it, aren't I? But
Nah, I know some people have
so
pointed out.
excited, man.
Some people have pointed out that there are inaccuracies with it. I mean, I think some people have mentioned how Mara Jade's costume's not entirely accurate to the way she's portrayed on the cover of the box.
Have you seen who those people are, Steve?
Yeah,
all
exactly.
the vintage collectors that aren't getting it.
I did think that when people it doesn't look like Luke doesn't look like the one in the comic. Man. I'm like, oh, shut up! Did you look
saw
at the
post
frame?
the other day, and it was like, well, it's not the right one from the box, so it doesn't matter. They're not getting the right one. Oh man!
But look how happy we are. So who
it's
cares?
like I'm not like sitting here going, "Hi, you're not getting it. We're better than you are."
Yeah.
Like. I'd love nothing more for it to be available in both scales, but it's just the reaction. It's comedy gold, man.
You know what, mate? I thought for a minute there I thought you were throwing more shade at vintage collectors than you actually are, because I thought you said that all the people that are saying that stuff are the vintage collectors that aren't getting any. No. That aren't getting it, and I was like, "Oh man, that's below the belt, dude." Jesus. So thank you for clearing that one up.
Well, I mean, you've just said it yourself now, Steve. So can we really escape that?
Well, we were all fucking we were all thinking it.
This is a good time to tell everybody that the live streams need a name.
Yeah.
Think of one going off what we've just said and what assholes you think they are.
But yeah, it's cool, isn't it?
It's so cool.
I'm from what we've just spoke about, I'm assuming that I'm the only one that's buying it for 2 figures. And I'm happy about that. I'm paying 105 quid for 2 figures. I couldn't give a shit. Give it to me now. The fact that it comes out in July is too far away. I want it now.
I do.
Oh man,
it's just so good.
It's been a while since I've been pumped to pre-order something, and usually I'm completely against of putting a pre-order in on Hasbro Pulse.
Same.
And it broke me. I was like, no, I need it. Need it in my life.
I do as well. I must admit, when I saw it, the price was like, "Hey, Chihuahua!"
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was like, "Do you know what? I need to get that." So I'm not pre-ordering it, but my significant other is, and I love her for it. But do you know what? Like, I'm just so excited about this. It ticks every box for me. It's weird.
Even
Star
the box
Wars.
Itself is good.
Yeah. That's the thing.
I normally put them in the bin, but I'll keep this one. It'll go in the loft, but I like it. It's nice, and I don't want to throw it away.
I think I'm going to probably keep it as well. Like when I do get this set, I'm naturally going to open it. I think the only thing for me as an inbox piece that puts me off is the grey background behind the figures. I think that could have been made a little bit more interesting, but I'm not going to pick that apart too much. I think for me, like, I will be opening these figures up, but I'll definitely keep the box because it's like it feels like a one-off. Like they've obviously done the comic book style Velcro boxes before, but this feels like a one-off. It feels unique. It feels different, and
there hasn't been a wave of that for a while, has this? Just thinking about it, it's actually been about a year, hasn't it? Because Dan, didn't you get Mara Jade at Celebration?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, no, didn't get Mara Jade. I got Dr. Aphra from Celebration, so it was around about that time. So I think I got Mara Jade sometime. But yeah, it's been a year. And they've not
if they want to do them like this from now on, crack on.
Take it. I'll take it.
You know what? Like, I wouldn't have been mad if these were released individually, because I think, given the choice, I'd probably not pick up the Return of the Jedi Luke. The fact that I've not got it it sweetens the deal for buying this set.
Yeah.
But as individually boxed figures, I probably would have skipped that one. But the other three, like Mara Jade, especially like you said, Dan, with that alternate head, I'm absolutely buzzing about that. I think that's the one thing that was missing from the original figure was the hooded head. That would have been really, really nice to see. But Luke looks Luke is my new book. You just have to look for it. He's just that's a deep cut reference to anyone who used to watch Channel 4 in the early 2000s. Just in case you thought I just had an episode.
throwback.
Just if you thought I'd had an episode there, which I did. I did have a mild stroke, but either way, that's neither here nor there. Yeah, everything about it is just mint.
I'm going to do Hasbro's job for them again, even though they don't listen to me anyway, because they've got that really emotive head on Luke. Take Starkiller, do the Sith Stalker version from Hoth, put that head on a Snowspeeder pilot Luke body. A couple of new effects. Force Unleashed DLC pack.
Yes. Yeah.
Because there's that scene right at the end where he says, "Rise, my apprentice," and he looks up and he's dead pissed off and he's got the coloured eyes.
Oh. Yes.
And to be honest,
See, I said that about the Starkiller figure from the beginning. The fact that he's got all those additional pegs on
that's
the back
the
of
one.
his skirt, like that Starkiller Sith Stalker figure's got to come at some point, surely. And I really want. I just really like. I mean, you've just been saying. You've just I know, same. You've just been saying.
My work here is done.
You've just been saying that it's been a while since we've had the comic book figures. Like, this is one of, I must admit, like, this is one of my favourite lines to collect because it's just so, like, the characters are just so obscure. Like, you know, they set off on the right foot by releasing Jackson. And I love this idea of just all these weird characters that, like you said, casual fans aren't going to have a clue who they are and are going to wonder why. But for those of us that have been around for a while, are going to be like, yeah, that's the stuff.
That's the glup shittos we want.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, generally speaking, they're so excited for this. Very, very excited. You done good, Hasbro. You did good.
Yeah.
I'm very keen.
I'm looking at it like a proud father.
Yeah.
You know, it's so good, man. Just
It is, isn't it? It is really good. Yeah, it's nice. I think we could have just done a stream on this, to be honest. But,
that's true.
Let's move it along. Let's dive into more Black Series. Do you know what? It gets a little bit underwhelming from this point on. But we're gonna touch on it anyway. We've got to do it. So
here we go.
Acolyte stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to get really, really hyped because we're not sure on the context of the show yet. But yeah, I'm never going to say no to more Jedi.
I like him because he's got a yellow lightsaber.
His haircut's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, is that
Soft-goods
fade
cloak.
Mad fade. Boss man did a great job on that haircut.
He looks ready. He looks ready for the club.
Yeah, it's a Jedi.
It's a Jedi. What's his fucking name? Yord Fandar. Is this chap's name? Don't know what role he's going to play in the show, but I'm keen to find out.
Well, I am a Fandar of him.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love this. This is awesome.
I like this, but I like this more.
I like this. I really like this. This is amazing. This is all right.
I've fucking missed this, boys. Oh dear.
Hey, do you know what? Like, I'm ripping on it. Well, I'm not ripping on it because I like it, but it's just, I think it's a bit of a come down, isn't it? We should have done these first.
Let's talk about the new box.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because we know what the boxes are. We know more about the box than we do about the character.
Yeah, that's a really
I like it. I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
my mate Roger's in the chat, and he's saying he's very surprised that I'm keeping a box, the cheeky sod, because he keeps his stuff in boxes, and I always give him shit for it. I say, "Oh, get them out, and meant to be played with." And I put a comment on Star Action Figures post when these were first announced. I was like, "Yeah, it's cool, but it'll just go in the bin with all the others," and it will. But I was in the minority. I always preferred the red and black boxes to the Galaxy packaging. It's just something a little more professional looking about it for me. It was tidy, and I think Gregory Titus's artwork is better than what we're getting now. And because you've sort of got the best of both worlds with this, to a point.
No, I agree. It's a nice hybrid. The thing that I really like about it, I mean, going back to what we were saying about that last command set, is the coloured background behind the figures. I think we've only seen it with Mandalorian and Acolyte so far, but I think that's going to go really, like, the figures are going to pop so much more with that coloured background. Like, I'm just thinking like figures from Ahsoka with like that pale, like that green, that teal sort of colour behind the figures. Empire Strikes Back with the really stark blue background are going to look great. Like, I'm really excited.
And this with the 7th version of red.
Yeah. But it does make them stand out a little bit more. It makes them look a little bit more interesting. Like, I'd love to see actual backgrounds behind the figures. I think that'd go a long way.
It has got a little bit of the artwork on as well, I think, from what's on the side of the box. It's like the background is on the back a touch.
Okay. I'm here for that then. But yeah, it definitely makes them pop a little bit more. And yeah, I really like the new boxes. It kind of reminds me of the 3 3/4 inch Black Series that they did for a time, where they were in the little boxes as well. But yeah, I think it looks a lot better. Like, I love the character name up the side of the box, and the fact that they're not angled anymore. It's gonna piss off a lot of people who are.
I was thinking that earlier, because they've just released that Mace Windu set, and it's the first 2-pack in that line of Republic. What are they called?
Clones of the Republic.
That's it. Thought Train had left the station on that one, hasn't it? Yeah, and now all the others that are coming out are going to be like this. Oh, I couldn't have that on my shelf. Bloody hell.
Yeah, it looks good though, but the characters, I'm just cheesed off that all these new Jedi from the Acolyte come with robes, and we've been asking for it for so long, and now they do it with these characters that we know nothing about. It's like, yeah, cheers, but where were you 5 years ago when Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan were coming out, and Kit Fisto and all that? Wait, like, you're a bit late to the party on it, but I'm glad that it's here now. This is the character that we were talking about earlier in the stream with regards to the trailer, I think, where James touched upon the fact that the red lightsaber we see in the show belongs to Jedi Master Indara, who's played by Carrie-Anne Moss, I believe, in the Acolyte.
That's the one.
Yeah.
There we go.
I must admit, out of all the Jedi figures that they've revealed, this is the one I'm probably the least bothered about. I don't know why. It just doesn't really call to me like the others do. There's something a bit more generic about it. I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on it.
Star power for me, just because of that Matrix pose.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you mean. It's a bit. They're all very human, and well, other than one, which I'm sure we'll see in a moment. But yeah,
sorry, tangent. Did you guys see the memes that come off the trailer at all?
No, not yet.
No.
That opening scene to the trailer where they were like, "Oh, close your eyes." There's an alien in the background that literally can't close their eyes. It was just very funny. Yeah. It's like, bro, I can't.
I have to. I've got to agree with you there. I think they are like very, very human.
if they gave us the monkey one that we first see in the trailer, is it like a monkey, a big hairy boy?
He's
Yeah.
that one that's in the trailer. That character design has been in the sequel trilogy, if I'm not mistaken. It's a resistance technician or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
I got really excited to begin with because I thought it was a live action version of a Loman from the Clone Wars, and then I was like, no, it's not. That's just me.
Yeah, I think
because I'm the main character and the Clone Wars is the best.
That's one of the things I think that Black Series has been calling out for, isn't it? Is more aliens.
Yeah.
And
oh yeah,
I'm really surprised actually we didn't get a reveal of the Wookiee Jedi. I thought that would have been a shoe-in for a figure right off the bat. What's his name? Kel Naka?
That's it. Yeah.
Kel Naka? Yeah, I'm really surprised we haven't got him in the starting lineup of the Acolyte. I'm surprised we haven't got Kel Naka. Big Brucey J showing his face again.
So brave.
So stunning. Just
took me a minute then. Took me a minute.
But yeah, I mean, we did get one alien Jedi. Jackie Lon, I believe this one's called. I'm not vibing with the names, if I'm being honest. Like, figures aside, like the figures look good, but the names I'm not vibing with yet. I don't know. They just
this
sound
is the
like...
one I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah, me too. I think other than Sol, I'm really looking forward to Jedi Master Sol. But yeah, this one I think I forget the actress's name, but she played well, I've not seen the film, but Logan. She's the kid in Logan.
Yeah, X-23.
Yeah, Elon Musk's kid.
Yeah.
AX. Fucking whatever. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, it's an alien, so I'm hyped. I've got to admit, like, shout out to Shooting the Galaxy on Instagram, who does all the press shots for these. Like, he's got the poses on all these Jedi figures absolutely down, and in a lot of ways, like the press shots are one of the things that's really got me excited for these because they look so good. Like,
really expressive.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't have a lot of connection to the characters yet. I'm sure that'll come when the show's released. But already, when these were released, when these were revealed, and we were seeing the press shots, I was thinking one standalone shelf for all these Jedi is going to look so good in all the. Because one of the things that I struggle with is space, obviously, like any collector does, and a lot of my Black Series figures aren't as posed as I'd like them to be because they're all crammed into really tiny spaces, and I'd love to be able to have them all on a shelf where, like, for example, with Jackie Lon, she's, throwing the cape to one side, and Indara's jumping, and I'd love to do that in a display, and I just can't because I don't have the space. But the thing that I thought about these figures when the images got revealed was a shelf of these characters on that's a standalone shelf is going to look so good.
Yeah, definitely. And the lightsabers as well. All the lightsabers. Oh.
Zoom.
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 Zoom. Jedi Master Sol. The Squid Game Jedi.
Yay!
Yes!
Sometimes you get squiddled, and sometimes you get diddled.
Which one are we being, boys?
Well, I think, given what I'm looking at and what I'm surrounded by, Hasbro have well and truly been diddling me for the past 25 years.
And they're diddling some more.
And they just keep diddling. They just keep diddling. Yeah, I like him. I'm like I said, I'm really excited for him. He does seem to be, from the trailer at least, the main character of the piece. But he's got, from what I've seen, various different looks throughout the show. So I'm keen to see, like, the progression.
Yeah, I spotted that too.
Yeah, like he's wearing different robes in different scenes, and that's not something we've really seen with a lot of Jedi in previous media. So I'm guessing we're going to get flashbacks of some variety. I don't really know. But yeah, I'm really keen to see all these Jedi in action, and I think going back to what we said earlier, like having all these figures available at a time where the media is out on a streaming platform at the same time is really, really exciting. Some more of that, please, Hasbro.
Yeah.
Who else?
I do like the little forearm gauntlets that they've been putting on. Well, not the figures, but through that come through that design.
Yeah, big Clone Wars vibes from that.
Yeah. There's really lots of mixture of like medias there. You've got like Clone Wars, then you've also kind of got a bit of Knights of the Old Republic. A little bit, just a touch of that. It's I think it's appeasing a lot of fans, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm really excited for the show. Like, I think like I said, I think I get more hyped about other shows just because of the connections that I've already got to some of the characters that have appeared. But I love that this is something fresh and new. Like for years, I mean, how long has it been where we've been calling out for something that's not linked to anything that we've seen before?
Yeah.
Like obviously, I think for a lot of people, there's going to be that perceived inconsistency of, well, in Phantom Menace, they say the Sith have been extinct for a millennium and blah blah blah. And
I'm bloody tired of seeing that.
There's no dark side users around at this point, and there's only Plagueis and Palpatine and blah blah blah. And it's like, yeah, but not having those characters linked to this takes away the. I don't know how to word it. It's so refreshing to have something new that's set aside from everything else that we already know. Like that's one of the things I was looking so forward to about the sequels is that it was after everything that we've already seen. So it was a completely new story. And when this got announced, I was like, yeah, okay, it's 100 years before Phantom Menace, but we know what ultimately happens. At the same time, this is so far removed from what we've already seen that it does feel completely fresh. It does feel completely new. There aren't the consequences and the stakes of a Skywalker sequel or a Mandalorian season 4. You know, it is fresh. It is new, and I'm really excited because it's different.
It's kind of like you know where it's going, but you don't know where it's going at the same time. It's like
exactly
how do we get to this point? Because this is meant to be the Jedi at their absolute peak.
Yeah,
and like I think it's going to be interesting to see that kind of like overconfidence. And then when shit does hit the fan, like how that happens. So
yeah,
people don't look into that Ki-Adi-Mundi line enough. They just look at it at face value as a fact. But when he says the Sith have been extinct for over a millennium, they obviously haven't been because you've got Sidious and Maul, and how long have they been working in the shadows?
It's
called the Acolyte. It's not called the Rise of the Sith. So let's think about the way I like to think about it is let's view the Jedi before the time of the Phantom Menace as a religion. You've got this religion, and maybe it's the only religion in the galaxy or the predominant one. Okay, and then you've suddenly got all these few people that start coming out of the crowds that are like, well, what if we believe these things instead? There's some other teaching that's been lost to time. It's now been forbidden. Well, I'm going to start looking at this. Oh shit, my lightsaber's red. I've just killed 1,000 people.
Do you know what? I think one of the things I'm really, I want to say, not that I'm expecting, but I'm hoping we see from the Acolyte is the like obviously Luke touches upon it in The Last Jedi about the hubris and the arrogance of the Jedi and the blindness because they're so self-involved in a lot of ways. And they're blind to everything that's going on around them. I'm hoping that gets touched upon. I'm hoping that we see that in action. Like I'm hoping that this show is Mace Windu times 1,000. And it's one of those shows where you're actually by the end of it. I've got a sneaky feeling that you're going to end up siding more with the protagonist than the antagonists in this one because the Jedi are perceived as these good guys, but they're not all knowing, all seeing, all wise, all loving, all caring. They've got their own.
We know that they're the most dangerous at the height of their power because they're just so oblivious to everything else that's going on.
Yeah.
it's interesting to see, and in that regard, we're obviously back to the figures, getting a figure of May in the Black series as well. I'm really keen. I'm getting, not just from a visual point of view, I'm getting from a character arc point of view from what we've seen so far. I'm getting Barriss Offee vibes from her, in the sense that she's. I imagine she's going to be a Jedi, or at least some sort of Force sensitive character that's fallen from the Jedi way, but you're going to be able to relate to the reasoning behind it. Like, I don't know, it's hard to spitball, but
I thought maybe not even like a Jedi, just someone who is Force sensitive. They've not really picked up on it, and they're just out there using the powers. Like, oh yeah, I can, do pretty Force adept things, but they're not fully attuned to it.
Yeah.
Until it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out with this particular character, if that's how it plays out. But it's just such a different look, like the whole look of all the figures and all the characters. It's just really interesting. It's just nice to see stuff out before content is actually released, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, I like the point that Matthews brought up as well. The trailer reminded me of early 2000s comics I loved. Jedi Council Acts of War, Emissaries, Tim Alistair, etc. Games like Jedi Power Battles. I'm excited. Totally, I 100% agree. Like, I think one of my favourite prequel memories was reading the Outlander comic book. Yeah. Going back to Ki-Adi-Mundi. The stories of Ki-Adi-Mundi and Sharad Het and Asharad Het. And that was one of my favorite comics growing up. I absolutely loved it. Like, the idea of a Tusken Jedi who, even then, a Tusken Jedi who wasn't a dark sider, didn't leave the Jedi Order because he thought the dark side was better. He just became disillusioned with the Order itself and the ways that they practiced. And seeing that put across in live action and seeing that in an episodic series is just going to be so fun, and visually I'm piecing it together, especially like I said with the Jedi for definite. I've got a bit of a disconnect with other aspects of it, but with the Jedi that we've seen in the trailer for this, like Matt says, like, definitely big early 2000s prequel vibes. It wouldn't have felt out of place to see these figures get released in 2002 on a green Power of the Jedi card. You know what I mean? It's that type of excitement. So yeah,
I was reading a little bit about the show, and the writer said that they were bringing a few things out of the expanded universe canon into the show. Man, that's never a bad thing.
No. I love it when they do that, to be fair, because it appeases everybody. You've got pockets of fans who prefer the expanded universe from the 90s and the early 2000s, and you've got the fans that appreciate the canon that we've now got since the Disney buyout. I'm in the middle where I love both, and I want to see elements of it sprinkled in. Obviously, I'm content with the canon that we've got, but I love that previous stuff from the expanded universe and the Legends canon as well. So bring that in where you can if it fits the story.
Yeah.
All for it.
Oh yeah. If it's something that people already have an attachment to and love, it makes more sense to sort of rejuvenate that than create something new.
Yeah, it's how they're doing Thrawn in Ahsoka and the sort of Mando era stuff. Yeah. It's like it's, and I think the fact that they've worked, like in Thrawn's case, where they've worked so closely with Timothy Zahn to make sure that they get the character in this new canon right. I love that. I absolutely love that. Like, if for example with the Acolyte, you get the showrunners going and speaking to the writers of the Dark Horse comics from back in the day and saying, bringing things like working with I just think just synergy and just working. It's the thing that the sequels missed. I'm going to go there. I'm going to say it. It's the thing that the sequels missed was a cohesive production team where people listened to one another's ideas and took everything on board from different people. And that's what we need. That's what's going to make Star Wars great again.
I think without going into a rant about
it's going to make Star Wars great again.
Without going into a rant about the new films,
Yeah.
But I'd completely agree with that. I think what they need to do is look back. They look too far forward with the new films rather than looking back to see how they could like take stuff and appease everyone. They tried. I mean, J.J. Abrams tried too much with a mystery box and not actually having a plan there, and it was just pulling stuff out his arse a little bit.
Yeah,
quite a bit. As much as
I think they definitely like with Rise of Skywalker, for example, they definitely tried to sprinkle that expanded universe stuff in there with the whole Clone Emperor storyline and what have you. I think they tried it, and I think that was probably, if anything, that was the jumping point for doing what they're doing now.
Absolutely.
With regards to like Thrawn. I think they probably saw that and thought, you know what, we tried it, it didn't really work, but let's try it again and make sure we get it right this time. And I think now they're finally doing it. I think, it's very, very hard to find a group of people that disliked anything that we got in Ahsoka with regards to Thrawn. And I think that's the way you need to do it. You need to treat these characters with respect. You need to honor the content creators from eras past. You need to look to your Timothy Zahns. You need to look to your authors and your creators from back then and just work with them to create something that's that's already forges a connection with people before they've seen it. It's
because you saw it at Celebration, and a lot of the cast of the Acolyte, I can't remember which actress it was, but once she dressed as like Padme.
I think it's her that plays May.
Yeah. And that was just great to see, because it's like there's an appreciation there of the actual media and looking back. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with it, where it's going to go. But the trailer really doesn't reveal much.
Yeah, which I like.
Yeah,
I really like that. I've seen. I don't want to pay attention to the people that have been absolutely ragging on this before they've even seen it, but I need to touch on it briefly at least. Like the pockets of fans that I've seen comment on this already and say this looks crap, and people have and have said that it's bad before they've even seen it, and. The thing that's been annoying me about this is people have commented on the trailer and said this is going to be bad, and people have replied to those people saying, on what basis? Like, how do you know it's going to be bad before you've seen it? And the responses have been bad writing. How do you know that it's been badly written when you've not even seen an episode of it yet? You're purely basing it on a trailer that and I'm going to say I've got it, and I've got to get it off my chest because it winds me up. But there was one comment in particular that I read, and it wound me up so much. But the response to it was so good, and it was like we said before we went live. I thought we'd have more of the Go Woke, Go Broke crew in the comments for this one, but we haven't, so I appreciate you all, thank you. But there was one comment in particular that I read. It was so disrespectful, and it was based around May's character, and it was they pointed out, oh look, a black female lead, how original. And I had to read it twice because I couldn't believe what I'd read. But then the response to it was absolutely perfect. Someone had quote tweeted this person and said, this guy is really clearly outraged about the fact that we have a black female character heading up this new show. So I found a movie that he'll absolutely love because I think it fits his demographic and his criteria for what makes a good movie. And it was the Rebel briefing scene from A New Hope. And they'd put arrows above each of the Rebel pilots' heads that said, white guy, white guy, white guy, white guy, white guy, white guy, white guy. And I thought, bravo. I was like, there's so many people out there that are complaining about these shows, having to meet an agenda, and that they it's so played out that you've got people of color in the shows, and you've got all this, that, and the other, like it's some sort of box ticking exercise. It really isn't. Like, just get a grip.
It's 2024.
Other people exist. Like, it's not like, I just don't.
They do know what franchise they're watching, don't they?
Exactly.
I mean, Star Wars was never invented to be something that was, fascist or misogynistic. It's inclusive for everybody.
Yeah.
And it was always ahead of its time because of that.
Yeah. And the fact that
It's literally all about the fight against people like the person you've just gone on about. So crack on, because at the end of the day, you'll never be right.
They make out like these things are tropes that are played out, and it's like, mate, where have you been in media for the past fucking God knows how many years? Like, you need to get a handle on who's been like in charge of fucking Hollywood for the past God knows how many years. Like, this is not something. This is something that should have been done all along. It's not something that's new and inclusive now. It's like this should have been how things always were, and it's only. I get that it's big and it's scary for so many insecure, fragile little people, but you're watching Star Wars, mate. There's a lot. You're in a giant galaxy. Chances are, in addition to all the aliens and stuff that you see, there's going to be ladies in it as well. There's going to. It's so bizarre to me. I just don't get it. But that's another tangent for another stream, I'm sure.
They just want it to be a big sausage fest, Steve.
It just baffles me, though. It really does. It's like, it's so odd. It's such an odd mentality to have. But maybe I'm the weird one. I don't know.
Star Wars is weird, and that's what makes us great. That's what is great about it.
Yeah. Hey-ho, there we go. Back to the toys.
Toys.
Black Series pipelines.
But you know what the best one out of all of them is?
I know it. Is it the woman?
It's Deirdre Nero. But where's Cyril Khan? So we can.
No, bugger off. I want Cyril Khan's mom. No, that sounded awful. That's going to be a soundbite. That.
So long as they do a 2-pack with her and
somebody clip that.
Yeah, someone clip it. If they do a 2-pack of Cyril Khan's mum and Cyril Khan, they
cereal bowl accessory.
They need to include the cereal bowl accessory, because my favourite thing about Andor was when Cyril Khan eats the cereal dead sad.
Yeah. So good.
Oh, please.
We need it. But yeah, Deirdre, so we can have, reenact those certain fans who don't understand about distancing and how to approach people. And not to do that with Cyril Khan, because that wasn't clearly made.
That was one of my favourite arcs in that show. Was Deirdre just like constantly with the ick? Like, will you just fuck off and leave me alone? Weirdly, you creepy little man. That was a telegraphed fucking like that was there for the viewers. but figure wise, I'm there with you, Dan. I'm really excited for Deirdre because I
thought that was going to be it for Andor. Do you know what I mean?
I thought it was going to be it, and I also like it because I think it'd be naive to think we're getting a brand new sculpted figure. I think this one is definitely going to rely on the Taladurith Imperial officer figure that we got from Obi-Wan. I'm fine with that because when that figure came out, one of the things that excited me the most about it was the fact that it opened up the possibility of more female Imperial officers. Yeah. Like if off the back of this we get a Juno Eclipse figure.
Oh, don't.
Let's go. You know what I mean?
What's the Rebels one? I can't think of a bloody name now.
Oh, the
Admiral Price.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like it opens up a lot of possibilities, and I'm here for that. So very excited for Deirdre. Plus, she was a really cool character as well. I really enjoyed her.
Yeah.
More Imperial bureaucrat, please.
Can we just have some prisoners next, Hasbro, please?
Oh yeah.
Just please just come on. Please.
There's a lot of stuff we still need from Andor.
I need Kino Loy. I just
give it to quote Batista. Give me what I want. Give me what I
Yeah.
want.
My
Imperial
autism demands it.
He's been tickled by the tism, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Well, I've got my Andor shirt on. You can't read it because I'm little, but
What we got?
it's words. Go on, Steve.
Oh,
Oh
love
wow,
that.
that's amazing. Where'd you get
love
that?
that.
Where did? Oh, Redbubble. That's where I got it from.
That's
Very
awesome.
nice.
Because shops are shite in the UK, people. You can make me little now.
Yeah, there you
I've got the man flu. I don't want to look at myself any larger than I have to today.
go. Yeah, let's have a look what else we've got. Imperial Commander from Mando. Like, yeah, that was like we were saying earlier about like having a connection to stuff. Like, I think one thing I'm always going to have a connection to is cool looking troopers.
Yeah,
I don't need to have an emotional connection to an anonymous soldier to know that it looks cool, and I want a plastic version of it. So I'm super excited for that. That's going to be really good. And in the same vein, the Night Trooper and the Captain Enoch 2-pack, really excited for that as well. That's going to look so killer in Black Series.
I hope.
And then an Ahsoka.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I was just going to make a silly joke. And an Ahsoka, and then they'll do another one 2 months later with soft goods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I would say as well is that I do hope that we get another Night Trooper single carded, because then we can like switch parts out. That would be nice.
I think they'll do it. Definitely think they'll do it.
No brainer, isn't it, really?
That's the only thing for me that's like, I know, like, say what you will about the Black Series and Vintage divide, but the one thing that you can't argue against in favour of Black Series is that it allows for added detail.
Yeah.
3 3/4 inch figures are detailed in their own right, absolutely, but Black Series allows, it's a bigger canvas, and I think Enoch and the Night Troopers are really going to thrive in Black Series. I think they're going to, not in a competition sense and not in a it's better than yours, but I do think the Black Series version of Enoch in particular is going to wipe the floor with the Vintage one, because it's just going to be
boy, won't we have to hear about that.
Yeah. It's one that I'm really excited for. I think it's just because it just took me by total surprise when I saw the character, because like when you get that initial shot of him just turning around and it's like, Jesus, it's a stormtrooper with a gold face. That's fucking weird.
It's like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, it's so bizarre, but so good at the same time. So yeah, give me that. I'll have that for definite. The Ahsoka I am excited for because I love that look, but I'm apprehensive at the same time because I feel like it might possibly be. I have a horrible feeling that it's going to be a repaint.
Yeah.
And
no.
Like James touched upon as well, I also think that it's going to be a while before we get one with soft goods. I don't think we're going to get it right out of the park, right out of the bat.
If they fucking repaint that, I'll be outside Hasbro's office with a pitchfork. It's wrong, man. Can't be doing that. It's bad enough that they just repacked the Mandalorian one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just get it right the first time, and that could be a stellar figure. Soft goods cape, lightsabers, just do it right. Get it right the first time. New sculpt. And then we've got Yoda and Commander Green. Comic book edition.
Yoda comes with
yes,
a little
please.
chair, which
that is exciting.
Sold.
Yeah.
Sold.
I like that. Again, going back to what we said about weird Star Wars, like that's something that's totally left field and obscure that I love it. I love
that version of Commander Green because it
good,
was sort of like, is his face too all silvery and random? It's like, no. It's like, look at this comic book. That was just his Kashyyyk outfit. He looks like the Phase 1 Clone Wars version. I'm so happy because
it's an interesting choice.
It is, yeah. It's just confirmation that 2-pack series is going to carry on.
Yeah, which is another thing that I'm really happy about as well.
I mean, it's great. I think we need more of that. And if they do it more so in the vein of this, with a commander and a Jedi, and not a trooper and a Jedi, then I think you just get a bit more value with that. Because you could put troopers in single packed, and you could buy many of those.
And you could get some obscure Jedi out as well, like Krell.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Or I'm Jedi, I'm gonna die.
Yes. Oh, yes, please. Captain Keeley. Oh, mate. That was one of my most wanted sets on whichever stream we did. Bloody hell, was that the first stream we did, boys?
Yeah, it was.
Or was it? Fucking hell. Oh. But I was only slightly less deranged and nervous than I am now. So,
you've come into your own, mate. You've come into your own.
We were so young and so miserable.
We still are. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to that one, I'm curious to how they're going to do Yoda. Because I think with the first Yoda they did, when you remove like the belt and the snake and stuff, you've got sort of a prequel era Yoda with that figure. I'd like them to do a completely new sculpt where it is more prequel accurate. I'm hoping that it's not just going to be a repack thrown in, and I think I'm hoping they do it justice.
Does anybody actually know if that new sculpt of Yoda that they've been using, like for the last 2 times, if that's actually size accurate? Because I always thought that was a little too small.
The one in the Empire Strikes Back set with Luke.
Yeah,
it's size accurate from what I read.
Ooh.
It's supposed to be anyway. I know, but at the same time, it kind of softens the blow because you get in the hover chair with it. I think.
I won't use that though.
Well, I will. I'm really excited for that because I think that was one of the things that I really wanted from like the Mandalorian when they announced like the Grogu figure as the little standalone figure. I was like, but I want him in his hover pram. I want to be able to display him.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Oh yeah. Sorry, the first Grogu in the little box. Yeah.
I was like, I want him in the hover pram. I don't want him just on his own. I want to be able to, add all these different elements to my displays. Like, I don't want to use the word world building, but do you know what I mean? Like, I love the bigger accessories.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Like, I love.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a great inclusion that they're doing that because they so easily couldn't at the end of the day. They could just say, no, you're just having Yoda, bugger you.
Yeah. And I think if they do it in such a way where it looks natural when Yoda's sat in it and you don't have to like pose him to such a degree where he looks weird, I think that's gonna. Yeah. It's got potential to be a really cool set. I'm really excited for it.
I love it. I'm just a greedy little bastard because my brain has just gone, well, it's Commander Gree, but it could have been Lieutenant Thire.
Yeah.
Oh, upscale those Clone Wars 2-packs they did with Jack and Reese.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Man.
That's a 4-pack.
remember.
Oh, do it, you cowards.
I'd imagine Vale's Toys will do them.
Oh, yeah. It's going to happen, isn't it?
Well, boys, have you seen their latest offerings? Because they're not too...
No.
Yeah.
What have I missed?
They're the stuff of nightmares, man. They've used
the experiment.
They've clearly got their hands on the Purge Trooper body, and they've gone, oh, you know that Enoch character from Ahsoka? Let's paint it to look like that.
What?
It's Clone Wars Enoch.
What
and
the
then
hell?
Gave him a pauldron as well with like an Empire. Was it an Empire logo? I don't know.
I think it's a First Order logo on it, so it's just out the window with that one.
Oh, you'll have to send me a link when we wrap up because I need to see that.
It's a bit janky.
It's just and it's done in that really weird plastic. So it's done in the paint scheme of the 187th season 7 figure. So it's that beigey off-white plastic with the maroon.
Oh no.
Fuck.
Sounds awful. Sounds awful.
Vale's Toy Store, just reach out to me and I'll just send you pictures of all the Clone Wars figures that we want.
Yeah.
You make them, and you don't have to pay me. I'll just buy them, put them on my shelf.
Brilliant. But yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for the Imperial March reveals. I think I've just about covered everything. Biggest takeaways from that? What were your main thoughts? What were your likes and dislikes overall? I think it's safe to say what we all liked. Last command set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's up from here, lads.
Yeah.
I think it's up from here. You can see some of the remnants as to what came before from a certain individual that had that planned. But no, it's good. It's good to see. There's some really cool things coming. I'm looking forward to seeing what they bring out in the future.
How can they financially cripple us next?
Absolutely, that's the next question.
Yeah,
that I'm asking
they'll find a way. They'll find a way, and it might not be Hasbro. But before we wrap up the stream, because we are closing in on 2.5 hours now, so we'll wrap up in just a bit. But one thing I did want to touch base on just before we wrap up, because I think with some of this stuff, there's a little bit of everything for everyone as well, at least between the three of us. Fantha Tracks and Jedi News announced some rather tasty little tidbits for Star Wars Day this year from the Disney Store. We're getting some really cool products. I'm guessing at Shop Disney in the US or whatever it's called, and the Disney Store here in the UK. I haven't prepared a slide for each product because the images were a little bit low res and a little bit janky. But for May the 4th this year, Disney Store are putting together a little bundle of products, and there's some really wild stuff.
Yep.
It's like, where has this lot come from? So just to run through them quickly, as we alluded to earlier in the stream, and we'll get to what I was talking about earlier with this. We're getting some 1/87th focused gear in the form of an interactive 1/87th clone trooper figure with lights, sounds, and all that sort of stuff. We're getting a 1/87th Legion helmet, which is not a Black Series helmet. It's a Disney Store product, so it's not going to have the same level of detail and electronics and stuff that a Black Series one would, I'm guessing. We're getting an interactive R2 and 3PO set, which unfortunately in the image we've got on screen at the moment, R2 is covered up, but the R2 is actually based on the vintage Kenner figure in terms of its detail, which is what and why, but I love it.
We love it, yeah.
I love it. It's so weird. We're getting an R2D2 pin for May the 4th be with you. We're getting a jumbo holiday special Boba Fett pin, which I am instantly buying when that is released, because that is gonna. I love anything holiday special Boba Fett. I just love the colors. I love the design. I love the illustration. I think it's great, and that's going to look really good on the Fett Focus. And then we're also getting a drinks container as well, with May the 4th be with you and the holiday special Fett on there as well. Now, I've already made a birthday list of what I want from this lot, but obviously the 1/87th clone trooper stuff it's certainly going to appeal to one particular member of this stream. So, James, what are you feeling towards this?
Well, I've just got two main thoughts, really, mate. It's not the ones that you're probably thinking of. First one is purple paint must have been bloody cheap this year. The second thing that I'm just noticing is they fucking Mike Wazowski R2-D2. Oh dear, sorry. It's full of random thoughts today. No, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm the Clone Wars guy, as we all know, but I don't.
You don't feel anything. You're not.
I don't really like the purple clones.
Oh, okay. See, I'm
Like,
not.
I've got this lovely figure, and it's great.
Mm.
But where the bloody hell am I putting this on my shelf? Where's this going to be coherent on the shelf? Because it's like expanded universe. It's just. Did they appear in a comic, or was it just a Hasbro thing?
It was a
'Cause
Hasbro thing, if I'm not.
it's just. It's styled like a shock trooper, so my brain says it'd make more sense on the Revenge of the Sith shelf because it was part of the 30th anniversary collection stuff. But it can't go on the Clone Wars shelf because it never appeared in the Clone Wars, so it really annoys the shit out of me. It's like, why did you bloody put it in the box? But
Oh, I'm tired for you, James. I really am. I'm so sorry.
mate, I make stress for myself. It's dear.
It is one of those
Dear
conundrums,
me.
though, isn't it?
Such a carousel in my brain.
The struggle is real for James.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that front, James, with regards to the purple paint. Like, I don't get where this is so.
It's such a random legion to choose.
Yeah,
That's the thing I
it's
don't
odd,
get.
isn't it? And
Yeah.
to
Have they
focus, and
finally bought into the everybody likes Mace Windu?
it's just to concentrate two products on it as well, like to get the clone trooper and the helmet as well. It's like, why though? Like, I'm for it, but
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's almost like one of those briefs that has gone out to all the toy companies because Lego did a set last year that came with minifigures like that.
Yeah.
So you've got a Lego set, you've got Hasbro stuff. I'm just waiting for Hot Toys to pull something out their backsides. But why that version?
Right, so I had as we touched on earlier in the stream, like I panicked a little bit, because like I said, there seems to be a heavy focus on the 187th Legion, which we all know is Mace Windu's Legion. I'm guessing either the 187th Legion is going to play a role in some sort of media that we've not seen yet.
There's that Mace Windu comic that's out, isn't there?
Yeah, so either it's a tie into that, or we're going to see him pop up in the Bad Batch somewhere, or like Tales of the Jedi Season 2, which is weird timing if that is the case. But my brain, you're not alone, James. You know, you're a prisoner inside your own head, and I'm right there with you, because my brain, when I saw these, I was like, okay, so we've had that Lego set, we've had the Hasbro figure, now we're getting an interactive Clone Trooper figure, now we're getting a helmet, all based on the 187th Legion, all based on Mace Windu's Clone Troopers. Please tell me we're not getting a Mace Windu fucking series on Disney Plus.
Oh
Please.
God, no. Fuck off.
I don't. Am I in the minority or what?
No, Steve, I can. Fucking right. Mace Windu's dead. Fucking leave it at that. He's fucking dead. People need to understand the importance
of death,
of Mace Windu's death. Okay, it's such a big turning point for Anakin, but he is like the physical metaphor for why the Jedi Order was so flawed. He is the strongest Jedi in the galaxy, second to only Master Yoda. That's said numerous times during the prequel era. So when you've got a character of such stature and you take them and you build them up as being somebody that should have been so thoughtful and so righteous, and they should have predicted what was going to happen in Revenge of the Sith, but they didn't. It's what Luke says in The Last Jedi. At the height of their power and their hubris, they fucked it, didn't they? If you suddenly say, oh yeah, you know that character you all love because he's got a purple lightsaber, he's alive actually, you're just taking away the foundations of George Lucas's story. Suddenly it begins to mean less.
Yeah.
Because you just want to bring him back because a certain group of fans have gone, yeah, purple lightsaber. Sod off! It's Sam Jackson. He's cool, but he's done other bloody films.
Yeah.
Can't you appreciate the fact that the character story that's already been laid out is important enough and integral enough to what we know as Star Wars that it shouldn't be touched? It's that good, you shouldn't be messing with it.
Yeah.
It's not the same as bringing Boba Fett back, because everybody loved him and it was open-ended.
Yeah.
This is definitive, and all those people that go, oh, well, Jedi can survive falls. Yeah, but can they survive 50,000 fucking volts of electricity going through their body? And he didn't just fall. He didn't just fall over and graze his bloody knee. He was shot halfway across the bloody city.
Probably landed on somebody's windscreen.
And that's the reason.
The canon ending for Revenge of the Sith is when that janitor sweeps him up in Robot Chicken, just to bring this rant full circle for the people that were watching from the start. Okay, that's it. End of. That's the authority. That's my TED talk. 100%. Come and see me next week.
There's a reason why Force Unleashed didn't bring him back from the dead, because that was the original idea. It just, leave him dead.
You hit the nail on the head, James, when you said about it being integral to Anakin's story. Like you mentioned about bringing Boba Fett back. You don't need to worry about bringing Boba Fett back, because it's like he's not integral to anybody's development. He's not integral to anybody else's story, really. He's just a guy on his own. The idea of bringing him back, just to touch on Luke's comment, I don't think they are planning it.
No.
There are obviously all the rumours that continue to circulate amongst pockets of fans. But there's no concrete rumor at the minute that we are getting a Mace Windu show.
I had a lengthy chat with Matt Lanter at Star Wars Celebration about this, because it's by no accident that in the Clone Wars you see Mace Windu being an absolute twat to Anakin all the time.
Yeah, it's done on purpose. But like you were saying about with Mace Windu and bringing Mace Windu back, and it being undoing a lot of what made Anakin's development so important and rounded that out. It's the same way that I felt about bringing Palpatine back in Rise of Skywalker. It made Anakin's story feel less significant.
Yeah, because suddenly then he was Darth Vader for nothing, really.
Yeah,
the
to a
black
degree,
and white of it.
To a degree, almost. I mean, I think what Bad Batch and Mandalorian are doing now, in terms of fleshing out that story leading into Rise of Skywalker, is doing essentially what the Clone Wars did for the prequels and making it make sense. It's giving it a purpose, which I'm all for. You know, I love the idea of Palpatine coming back in the expanded universe, but when the expanded universe stories of a clone emperor were about, we didn't have a full understanding of Anakin's downfall. We didn't have a full understanding of Anakin's tragedy, basically. And so
it wasn't a plaster on an open wound of 3 movies that could have been better.
It wasn't a massive issue about bringing Palpatine back when those expanded universe stories were written in the 80s and 90s. Going into the sequels, I didn't like it. It didn't feel like a natural progression of the plot at that point. And I think, like you said, bringing Mace back, let a character in Star Wars die. At this point, if they brought Mace back, Han Solo would be the only character to die.
Oh, fucking hell.
Like, come on.
Shaq T's had 5 deaths. Nobody's asking for her comeback. Fucking hell.
Completely agree with what Luke's mentioned there. I mean, I think we're reading a little bit too much into it, I think.
we know whose little section of the fan base is responsible for all the Mace Windu loving, don't we?
Yeah.
So
it's run by Potato.
Mace Potato. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Star Wars Day stuff looks interesting this year to bring it back. I'm excited. Like I think for me, it's the pin. The Boba Fett pin and the droid set. I really like those. They encapsulate the weird again, especially.
Well, there's a cool lightsaber as well for Disney. They're doing one of those fancy boxes with Darth Maul's lightsaber.
Yes,
you open it up, it lights up, and you get the Duel of the Fates playing.
Oh, nice.
No, wait, It lights up. I didn't know
Lights
that.
up.
And it plays Duel of the Fates.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for that information.
Oh, it's almost
shit.
as if I can predict the future now, isn't it?
Oh, no.
Well, what you've done to him, you've broken him.
Or I made him better?
We'll find out. We'll find out. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
In summary,
Decent bombshell.
decent few reveals. Yeah, happy with what we've seen.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it's
I
actually,
like toys.
I
Yeah.
like toys too.
I think the live stream stuff was a bit lackluster when they did it, but over the few days after, it was like, oh, okay.
See, I think this is the thing that I've sort of trained myself to do, is that I don't tend to watch the live streams when they're up. I don't watch the replays either. I just catch up with the images that are released, because it makes my brain feel better if I don't watch the live
It's
stuff.
painful viewing.
Yeah.
There is one thing we didn't touch on from the stream, and that's that on May the 4th they are going to reveal the next HasLab project.
Yeah.
I did forget to mention that. What do we think?
Well, I didn't think much until Laura said, what if they do the Marauder from the Bad Batch? Because I was like, I'm not buying it. Or my worry it is, I'm not buying it. I've not got room for a bloody another one. What about the Marauder from the Bad Batch? Oh, that'd be shit, because I'd have to buy it.
'Cause that's
So
the
it
only
would
way
be
you can get
good,
the
but it
figures.
would be bad for that reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard a couple of people say that they're thinking it could be that, but what did they say? What scale it was? Did they say it was Black Series or Vintage?
Said
It is vintage, yeah.
Okay.
I think Rancor, well and truly,
Yeah.
dead and buried Black Series.
I did wonder.
Oh, well,
I did wonder, but I had to ask. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I think at this point, and I feel like having Steve Evans back on the team makes it a little bit more likely. But I feel like if it's vintage, it's going to be a playset rather than a vehicle, just because the last two HasLab for vintage collection have been vehicles. I feel like it's the go of a playset, and I feel like we're going to either get a Death Star or a Cantina.
I'd say Cantina, yeah.
Yeah,
That came to my mind.
purely based on like I think they were testing the waters a little bit with the Jabba's Palace, not the Jabba's Palace, you know what I mean, the
throne room. Yeah.
the Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett
Yeah.
throne room playset. I think they were testing the waters with that in terms of how many people would buy it, who had the room for it, and I think they were probably thinking, well, if we do this and it's successful, which I think it was, I think it's safe to say. I pre-ordered it and then cancelled it because I reconsidered my space. I
think I'm the only one that's got it and has only got 2 figures in it.
No, I didn't want to cancel it. I did want it because I wanted it as a Jabba's Palace playset. I wanted that in my collection. But I just didn't have the space, so I had to reconsider it. But I think given how well that was received and how good it actually is, like I've seen reviews on it and stuff, and it's such a good set. I genuinely think that they might go, well, do you know what? We're going to do it. We're going to do the Cantina, and we're going to do it in such a way that it looks like some of those fan creations that we've seen before, where it's like, you know, you look on it from an aerial view and you've got all the different rooms and all that sort of stuff. I think they're going to make it modular. I don't know. I really don't know, but my money would be on either a Death Star would. I think a modular Death Star is a realistic option as well. Something akin to the vintage playset that they did years ago, something that combines that with a more screen accurate and more up to date and modernized playset. That's what my money would be on. I'd lean away from a vehicle, but I might be completely wrong. A vehicle, consistency wise, would probably make sense. Just so
a lot of people go on about the Sandcrawler, don't they?
Yeah, that's another one that could be an option.
If it's that, I haven't got to buy it, so crack on.
I'd love it. I think it'd be great if they did it.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of potential if they make it as big as they could possibly make it. And I think having it so that it opens up and you've got all different rooms inside and releasing droids to go with it and stuff. There's so much potential there for that. But I just think I feel like a cantina would be a decent haslab to do, because I just feel like the tier options would be so appealing to so many people. I think, you know, releasing vintage carded cantina aliens that we've either never had on vintage cards or we've never even had figures of full stop would be something.
Is that how they get the Tanika sisters out?
That could be. That could be.
That.
Oh no. That's given them an idea.
If they haven't got the bloody idea about them two now, then they're never gonna get it, are they?
I'm biting my tongue. But it's a possibility. It's certainly a possibility.
Were her in the line.
Please.
Yeah.
Detailed were her.
Because it's winding me up how expensive that Power of the Force 2 version of him is.
How much is it?
It's about 40 quid.
Oh shit.
But I want him. I need him.
I need him as well, because I started my collection. Flipping heck.
Exactly.
Oh
dear. Lost causes. But yeah, what do you think?
Don't
Dan?
we just love them?
What do you think it's going to be?
My instant thought was Havoc Marauder, because they seem to go for stuff that's relevant at the time of them doing a haslab. So like, when Kenobi was out, they did the Raver lightsaber, and it's like,
Did that ever?
no, that didn't happen.
Oh, that was entertainment in itself.
So
that was
stupid. So stupid.
Here's an Inquisitor lightsaber, but you can't spin it.
I just don't know why they did a lightsaber as a haslab.
It's like backing tiers for it, just nothing. It's like, didn't you learn from the Rancor? Come on now.
Makes no sense.
1,500 backers that had it needed 5,000, and on the last day it just started plummeting.
Jeez, I genuinely don't know, but I think Razor Crest could not Razor Crest, the Havoc Marauder, because vintage collection you've got Hunter, so they've got the sculpt for that, so they could throw that in, and then all the other Bad Batch, and they're like, yep, that's done, we've got them out finally.
Yeah.
Which is a bit naff for some collectors. But
I think Havoc Marauder is probably, like, wishful thinking wise, I think Death Star and Cantinas are probably up there for a lot of people, and I think they're more realistic now than they've ever been.
Yeah.
But I have to agree with every point you've made there, Dan, in terms of like current media. Put a focus on that. It ties in well as well, because I think, doesn't Bad Batch sort of wrap up around the time of May 4th as well?
That's what I'm thinking.
I think they'll telegraph it. If they blow the Havoc Marauder up in the season finale, it's getting a fucking hour.
yeah.
But yeah, I think it's realistic to assume that it's probably going to be the Havoc Marauder.
I think playsets will come if they do that one. I think it's interesting.
One of the things that I think they're doing really well, though, is the fact that they make the vehicles into playsets. I think they do that so well. Like, they've done it with the sail barge, they've done it with the Ghost. Not so much with the Razor Crest, because there's only like one room in it other than the cockpit, but definitely the ship with multiple rooms. You know, they've really done a good job of blending playset and vehicle together. And I think that's something that they can still do with the Havoc Marauder as well, because if you've got like Omega's room in there,
that'd be so cool.
Yeah, but you know, I think I
Gonky, put Gonky in it.
Yeah.
Oh,
definitely. Yeah. I'd put money on it being any of those three. I think Marauder, Death Star, or Cantina are three very realistic choices, but we'll see. We'll see on May the 4th, and we'll probably convene again when that haslab gets revealed and when more stuff gets teased, and we'll have to gather and do another one of these, because I don't really fancy leaving it another 5 months.
No, let's not do that.
No. Let's get back into the routine. to get back into the routine. Speaking of prolonged absences and stuff, content-wise, what have you guys got coming up? I know, James, you're not much of a content man. I get that, but I know that you've got a lot of you do a lot about your on Instagram and stuff. Is there anything we should keep an eye out on your Insta for?
I don't know, really. It's a bit of a dry spell until April normally. I mean, Hot Toys were thick and fast at the start of the year, but even they're on a bit of a break at the minute. They've got a bit of a list at the minute that they've been working through for releases, and the next one should be the Kenobi 501st clone. Once that's out of the way, hopefully I should either have Obi-Wan from the Kenobi series or the Clone Wars Obi-Wan, whichever one they get to first out of them two. Or if they drop tech from the Bad Batch, those three are like my main 3 Hot Toys this year that I'm waiting for.
Okay.
So,
when is the Ghost due?
It's end of the year, isn't it?
Have we lost him, James?
I think we might have lost him.
that's a bit of a lag there, boys.
No.
Say something.
I was just
didn't
asking
quite catch what you said.
Just asking when the Ghost was due.
Yeah, it's December apparently.
Okay. So
That can't come soon enough. Yeah, worth it though. That's a fucking sick day at work, let's tell you.
Hope none of James's employees are currently watching this stream. Roger, I hope you don't work with
If they are, they don't know me. They think they do, but they don't.
What about you, Dan? Content wise, because you've been on fucking fire recently, boy. What are you got for us?
I've been pointing out all the content. Big shout out to Becky's Builds for the sick vape effects. She's been really helping me.
That blew my mind. That blew my mind when you mentioned that. I was like, no way, is that just a vape? I genuinely thought you'd got a little smoke machine and been using that. I was like,
nah, just ripping fat vapes for me.
That's amazing.
So yeah, check out our YouTube channel. We've been making content on ours. There we go. Check out our channel. Great stuff.
Go and check out all of Dan's Senti videos.
Just some pretty wild stuff. I mean, I've just done a massive Lego fucking binge.
He's just released a watermelon flavoured Mando review.
yeah, there's a that's the one. Bubblegum review coming up. Yeah, I've got them all. I've got some really weird content coming that isn't even Star Wars related. And you're gonna be like, Dan, you've got a mental illness. Then I'm like, yeah, I do. So yeah, there's gonna be some wild stuff coming. There's definitely more Star Wars figure reviews coming. But yeah, there's one review in particular. Everyone's gonna be like, Dan, what is this? Where's this come from? What's that? I'm like, it's just memes. It's just memes, isn't it? But yeah, just enjoy my
I'm waiting for you to resurrect the popular series of how to Star Wars sound effects.
I think it might not be Star Wars sound effects, but I think there's going to be sound effects in this one that
Wow, okay.
it's going to be wild. The Daniel East 1000 this year is just going to be completely off the chain.
Nice. I'm here for that. We'll get some links shared on screen in post to all of Dan's recent content because he's been on fire with the Lego stuff and the Indiana Jones stuff's gone down really well as well. So
oh yes.
Yeah, and then as for me, it's been a fucking while, hasn't it? Bloody hell. No, I'm dabbling. I'm getting down with the kids, and I'm dabbling in shorts and reels. So I'm more active on the Instagram and the YouTube shorts than I am anything else these days. But
get on TikTok, son. Get good. Do the ticking and talking.
We'll see.
Not a fan.
We'll see.
Not a fan.
not ruling it out. But when I did that first reel, because I've done a reel of the Rex helmet for anyone who wants to go check it out, just highlighting some of the detail. I don't know what it is about my phone that just doesn't like reels. It just keeps crashing when I'm trying to put them together. So it's a fucking challenge.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. I'm just trying new stuff at the minute, and just seeing how it plays out. But yeah,
That's all it is. That's all
where
content
we,
is, brother.
where we got Sea Lions. You promised some more Power of the Force reviews, Steve. Where are those? They're coming because I've got a box. I've got a box. That's all I'm going to say.
And we've got a plan, haven't we, for the expanded universe ones that we've talked about?
Yes,
Oh,
which we need to put that plan into motion. Yeah, because we can now. So yeah, we'll do that.
We can do
that. Yeah, stuff is coming.
And James will make a video when he can be arsed because
we need that collection tour, mate. We need that collection tour.
I just tell myself, oh, maybe I'll make a video about this, and then it's like 2 months past. I'll tell myself the same again, and 2 more months will pass.
You know what? That's exactly where I'm at the minute.
Right.
Yep.
Like, my mental state at the minute is, I wish I was still 5 years old, where the only worries in life I had was how long I could play with my toys before having to go to the toilet.
Yeah. Yeah. Cheers, Matt, for tuning in. Matt from Twin Sons Collecting on Instagram. Got a duck out. Great stream. Some social media sites and forums have been a bit negative of late, so it's been great to hear some positivity about new media and upcoming stuff. May the force be with you and with you, Matt. Cheers for tuning in. And everyone who's watched, a big thank you for joining us as well. Yeah, stuff is coming, and we'll get together sooner than later for another one of these. We'll brainstorm some topics if there are no new reveals for a while, and yeah, we'll be back at you with another one very, very soon. So cheers to everyone for coming along. We'll see you soon.
Thank you for listening to my rubbish.
Thanks.
And mine as well.
Thank you for
Mace Windu's dead. Peace out.
On that note, keep collecting. May the force be with you.
Bye.
Breaking all whole units. Fire at will. Pick your target. Want to stabilize the Gold 6. Anybody cover me. I got explosives on my tail. Got to hold them here. Watch your left. I can't shake them. Okay. Wait for reinforcements.